top of the world, about to jump above it. Take it straight to the moon, 'cause we know how to rock it. Ain't no thing you can do, ain't no way to stop it. Now you're feeling it too, let's get it started. Throw your hands in the air while the beat is dropping. Acting like you don't care when everybody's watching. Just keep whipping your hair like that, you got it. Yeah, you're feeling it too, let's get it started. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Off the meter, turn it up, blow the speakers, make them all to believers, break through the surface, tell them open the curtains, give them all what they wanted, yeah, now let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. I'm ready. Are you ready, ready? I'm ready. Let's get it started. Yeah, yeah. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Let's go. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Yeah, 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 yeah. Give me something new. Time to break it loose. Take it to another level. Now we on the move. Shout if you coming with me. Going over the limit. On your mark, keep it steady. So tell me, are you ready? I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we're looking at the virtual Daytona International Speedway, the Northwest Racing Series, and Season 9 of the trucks, the Cup cars with the next-gen new style machines did a phenomenal race on Monday night, and now it's time to see what the trucks can do. We're ready to go here. Welcome to round number 1, and honestly, this is qualifying the duels and the Daytona 175. This is the live sim racing TV 200 from the virtual Daytona International Speedway on your home for sim racing, iRacing on LSRTV. And for those that are listening on the Community Radio Network, I am Wesley Outland. Okay, so I'm solo right now. Samuel Dyer will be here directly. He'll be here very soon. And then we'll be ready to bring this thing to you. We've got an awesome race night for you because this is racing for not only the Northwest Cup cars, what a race they put on Monday, now the Premier Series. And I say that humbly and honestly. The Premier Series of the Northwest, where it all got started, is with the trucks. They're in season number 9, and they are ready to go here this evening. It should be an exciting race. We're looking forward to it. Again, it all culminates with the, of course, preliminaries. The preliminaries will then lead up to 175 laps later tonight. 175 laps coming up here later tonight on LSRTV. Cole Raz is there. Unofficially, I don't think they've officially decided yet. I think it might have went to an appeal board. Unofficially, the winner of the Daytona race on Monday. He's on course right now. He's qualifying. We'll see what type of lap he turns here as these drivers are on the racetrack right now. Cole Raz. And here comes Stephen O'Hare, the American touch-up number 41 machine, his Ford. All these drivers getting ready to go here. Race night at Daytona. Qualifying normally is a big thing. We normally do qualifying, and the other sanctioning groups of iRacing, they normally have qualifying highlighted. They have the duels highlighted. They're on separate events. Tonight with the Northwest, they're literally just running everything all at one time. Just like what we saw on Monday. Cup cars. Now the trucks. Stephen O'Hare through the trioval. 51.702 seconds. 51.702 for the Northwest LSRTV 200 Truck Series opener. Tyler King, American touch-up machine, also in a Ford. Shades to the colors of the 41 of Stephen O'Hare. He's in the orange and rainbow-looking number 21 machine. This race is the LSRTV. They're going to go 200 miles, 80 laps for their race, which is, by the way, 5 laps more, actually 10 laps more than what they ran in the Cup race on Monday night. But as I said, the Truck Series is their premier series. Season 9 gets underway here this evening at Daytona. Here comes Tyler King coming to below the yellow line. That's allowed. Comes to the trioval. 51.653 seconds. And now it's going to bump up to 51.669, and he's going to get another lap after it. Right now, Ryan Bloom going to the top of the board unofficially. 51.55. Number 25, Ryan Bloom. Caden Anderson second, Lake Peterson third. Remember, the front row locks themselves in. Here comes a former winner here at Daytona, John Odenbacher, in the number 89 machine. There's Lad Ronning in the Napa Auto Care Chevrolet. By the way, there's a new Truck Series body from the Week 13 update from iRacing that was announced and unveiled on Tuesday. There's a Chevrolet Napa Auto Care entry, number 19, coming down to the pit lane. And right now, Ryan Bloom unofficially qualifies. Right now, close to 48 entries signed in for this race here at Daytona. Eric Cox was the one you're just watching come down to the pit lane. So again, that is all of the qualifying, it looks like, unofficially in the books right here. And Ryan Bloom unofficially has locked up the pole. Ryan Bloom, the defending 2021 Northwest ARCA Series champion of last year. You remember when we ran ARCA on Friday nights? He is right now the quick man. Qualifying is done. We'll step away. We'll be back with more from Daytona in a moment. This is iRacing on LSR TV. For the LSR TV, feel the roar in Daytona as the field comes to green at the world's center of racing. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race.
This is our series,
So many different pieces that you have to watch out for.
where the stakes are always higher,
$300,000.
where virtual meets reality,
How bad do you want it?
They're wasting no time getting at it.
where the best thrive and the flawless win. This is the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
So now, officially, Ryan Bloom and Lake Peterson have locked themselves on the front row for the Daytona LSRTV 200. Right now, it's time for dual race number 1. 20 laps, top 15 transfer, and provisionals are available. Let's give you the lineup. Lake Peterson's on the pole. Justin Yee to the outside. That's the 9 and 66. Row number 2, Casey Garber, 94. Tyler King in 21. Row number 3 is going to find Tyler Kim in 30. Cole Raz in the 10, the Daytona Cup winner unofficially. Row 4, Toby Ritter's in the 23. Clifford in the 81 of Paul Newton. Row 5 will find David Applegate in the 67, Bryce Clark in the 93. Row number 6 on the grid, Devin West in the 5, Sean Brightsman in 46. Row 7 will be Robert Gamble in 54, Troy Daggett in the 51. Row number 8, Frank Harris in the 11, Vinnie McDonald in the 43. Row number 9 will find Ray Fournier, the dash winner, dual winner of last year in the 26th, and Brett Redier in the number 87. Row 10 will find Carl Berg in the 53, Russ Lundberg in the 129. And of course, row 11, Dana Rogers in the 07, Eric Cox in 19. Row number 12 will find Cameron Iverson. They flip the field up half and half. We're ready to go now here in race number 1. Duel number 1, 20 laps. Top 15 transfer. Provisionals are in effect in case drivers do need provisionals. We're ready. Lights are off on the pace car. They're going to work their way off of turn 4 through the tri-oval. The sun is out here, by the way. The sun's shining at Daytona. It's not nightfall like it was the other night when we ran the virtual Cup race under the lights, the duels as well. Green flag in the air. We're underway. 20 laps in duel number 1. Peterson, Yee side by side. Garber up the inside. He'll stick to 3rd. King and Raz work their way, working off turn number 2. Peterson inside, works off the back straightaway. He's the man out in front in the early going. Yee outside lane, hooks up there. One truck turned, little sideways. Oh my goodness, it's problems. Oh no, in the grass is Ritter's. Radiaire, 9 in the grass. Trucks wrecking. Peterson's also involved. The caution is out. Gamble, Robert Gamble, also caught up in it. We saw just a little glimpse. We saw a little glimpse of it on the replay down the backstretch when we saw the 9 just make a little bobble. And I was thinking to myself, we got to stay with the camera shot because obviously we're watching the battle for the lead with Yee on the outside. But all of a sudden, we knew trouble. Watch this right here. That's what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, Peterson pushed down. Other ones go to the grass. Ritter's turned. Gamble turned into the pack. Nowhere to go for, of course, the number 19 machine. And the caution coming out of the speedway, a multi-truck accident in turn number 3 on the opening lap. There's the McConey setup shop entry number 66. Justin Yee, his Ford, able to avoid everybody and stay out in the lead, and that's exactly what he's doing now. Justin Yee in that top spot. Still a lot of racing left to go. This is just the first duel of twin 20s. The first race will set up the inside. The second race will set up the outside. Remember, top 15 transfer. If they do have provisionals, that's for their benefit, because if you don't, you're kind of in a tough spot. Might not be making race number 1 of the season. Close to 40 entries signed in. 50, my apologies, close to 50 trucks signed in, 48 to be exact. We were expecting that kind of a number. 43 trucks will take the green flag. when the season gets underway here later on tonight. Hopefully my colleague Samuel Dyer will be back by then, as he's working on some other iRacing assignments. And he'll be back to join us for that 200-mile, 80-lap battle. All right, so Justin Yee is out in front. He leads the way. Tyler King is second. Cole Raz, Daytona Cup winner, unofficially sitting in third. Already up 3 spots. Paul Newton up 4 spots to fourth. Casey Garber, fifth. Then you have Bryce Clark, sixth. Sean Brightsman up 4 to eighth. Seventh and eighth. Tyler Kim as well. Daggett and McDonald, your top 10. Lights are off on the pace car. I know we were so quickly to get underway here, but let's take a look at the bottom left of the monitor, as the field should get the one-to-go indication this time by, and we'll give you the official 411 for tonight's event here at the Daytona International Speedway. Race information presented by LSRTV. We also have a new sponsor coming soon, ML Performance. More details on that. And then, of course, you see the practice sessions done, qualifying done, 2 duels, 20 laps, 200 laps, 200 miles, 80 laps for the LSRTV 200. There's your weather conditions. 69 for the air temp, track temp at 71, a couple of degrees warmer, and the wind speed at 5. Partly cloudy, and it is sunset, so it's in the late afternoon, meaning that this race will go green under the lights. And you got to think it's going to change up the setting, it's going to change up the handling on these trucks. Daytime conditions, obviously a completely different animal than racing at night. Shout out to everybody watching wherever you are. David Applegate, what's up, bud? Pulling for that 67 truck. The Ritters family pulling for Clifford, obviously. Toby Ritters. Team Outlaw. Boogity, boogity, boogity. That's Mr. Will Duvall. And we will get ready to go for a restart. After one caution flag, the field settled up to 2 by 2 by 2. Pace car lights are off on the Mustang. It'll come onto the pit lane. As they work their way off turn 4, down the tri-oval. Pace car will make the left-hand turn right now to the Geico restart zone. Is Tyler King on the outside, Justin Yee to the inside. He's the starter box machine. Green flag goes back in the air. Justin Yee gone, black 66. He'll set sail to the inside. He'll carry Raz with him. Garber will follow behind. Pulling up there also is trying to beat Kim. 1 through 4 up the outside lane now. Something trying to get started with Tyler King. And Newton just not able to get that momentum going quickly as they work their way into the backstretch, down the super stretch. Flat part of the racing surface all paved off. Little grass there through the bus stop of the road course at Daytona, as you see them passing, going to 3, working 3 and 4. Look at all that air, all that turbulence there. Kim all up under Casey Garber. To his outside, the 21 truck on your inside of the monitor. Tyler King. Here comes also Paul Newton. He'll follow along with Sean Brightsman. Cross the stripe, we're down 16 to go. 15 to go now in stage in the in duel 1. Dennis Moore from the Beaver State checking us out in 44. Back straightaway, 15 to go now. Not even at halfway yet. We've had one caution with that one caution on the start. Try to get things going again here. Truck's up the outside. King has got some help from Newton. Newton's got help from Brightsman. Brightsman's got some help from McDonald. McDonald with a push there from Burt. This is all on the outside lane. A little shift of momentum now. Newton thought about going to the middle lane. He thought better of it. Raz on the bottom. Raz maybe goes to the middle. Is he going to? You're on board with Sean Brightsman. Not yet. He'll tuck in line, and they'll go tailgate to tailgate. Down into turn 2, and we got caution. Caution is out. Wrecking back into turn number 1 and 2. Trouble. Peterson again crashed. Toby Ritter's crashed again. Multiple others, and the caution out in turn 1. Oh my goodness. What happened? Charles Wooten and Jeff Stabb now are Rocket Media LSRTV production truck ready to find it. And here it is. Oh my goodness, Peterson. Well, one truck went down low, and then the other one pulled up in front of Peterson. I wouldn't say per se it's Peterson's fault. We'll see this from an angle again. It's not really Peterson's fault. We're going to go up top side now. Peterson in the 9. Hooters machine right there. Troy Daggett in the 51. They're 3 wide. That's Devin West in the middle in the 5. And, oh, just ran out of room. Green and Yup, well, he came down on him. Ron Lundberg got into Ritter's, got into Peterson. Oh, man. And that's the damage on the 129 Ford. McConey set up shop. Ford leading the way. American touch-up Ford number 21. Tyler King in second. Cole Rass. Remember what Cole Rass did on Monday? He sits now in the number 3 position. Newton's behind him, along with Casey Garber in the top 5. So still the first half of this race not even done yet. It's going to be like 11 or 10 laps to go when they actually come back to the restart. Justin Yee, the man, is on in front. He leads them. Of course, Cole Rass on the outside. Inside, correction, for the restart. Tyler King right there on the outside lane. Newton, all these trucks very strong. New contenders up in the front like me and Justin Prince talked about with the Cup Series on Monday night. I think we're seeing this same thing being done with the trucks as well. Cameron Iverson, watch my in-car. All right, well, we'll try to do that if we get a chance to. I don't think Cameron Iverson is in dual number 1. Yes, he is. Number 65, up 10 spots. He's in 13th right now. All right. Looks like I see Scooby-Doo, Cartoon Network. Hey, is that him? Okay, what are we watching? We're on. All right, Cameron Iverson, we're on board looking at your vehicle. We see all of the nice Scooby-Doo and everything graphics on the truck, but we're watch my in-car. We're watching your in-car. We're going to 1 to go, by the way. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, well. Cameron Iverson there, and there's the field behind the pace car, and we'll get ready to go to a restart. 2 cautions, by the way, in the first 10 laps of this event. It will be 10 laps to go, halfway home in duel number 1. When they come back to the Geico restart zone, $10 down and 10 to go when they come back to green. Oh, Cameron Iverson says, watch the in-car for the wreck. Well, I'm sorry, Cameron. By the time we went back to, we can't show it anymore. So sorry about that. Cameron Iverson was saying go back and watch the in-car from the accident of what happened, but 2 wrecks already in the race, and again, top 15 transferring in from Duel 1. Provisionals are up for grabs if need be, which is a premium, by the way, if you're one of those drivers that are regulars from last year. Paid your dues. This is what it's all about. If you paid your dues and you can't make it in on this night, the provisionals are your friend. That's why you do what you do all season long, all year long, to have that opportunity where that joker, that wild card, hangs in the balance if need be. Pace car coming in to the flag stand, green flag and the cross sticks at the same time. Halfway home, 10 down and 10 to go in duel number 1. He up to speed, down to the inside, whole shot into 1. Behind him is Raz. Garber to follow. They'll stay single file. Top 4 trucks starting to pull the conga line to the bottom of the racetrack. And now Tyler King wants to jump into that battle. In the fray, down to the inside. This is on board, I believe, with Justin Yee, the leader. Raz is right there behind him. Talk about teammates. Here's something to think about. Justin Yee and Lake Peterson, teammates. He's in the front. Peterson all the way in the back. The wild card is this, though. Lake Peterson is already in the Trucks Great American Race of the Northwest here tonight at Daytona. He's hanging in the back because he knows he's in. Hence, you'll see probably Ryan Bloom do the same thing in Duel 2 next. Justin Yee out in front, by the way. We're under 10 laps to go, 9 remaining. We're just at halfway here in Duel 1. A push there from Raz to Yee. Garber, oh, he got a little side draft. Little loose there. He had King on the outside. Newton was there. Brightsman was there. Kim even had to back off and lose that momentum. They worked through the tri-oval. 8 laps to go. The pack in less than half a second separated. 3/4 of a second, if you will, from first to 14th. Robert Gamble is a second back. A mere moment. Cat's whisker to this pack. Paul Newton right there in the middle of that battle. King in front of him, giving a push there. Trying to make the outside lane work. Justin Yee still saying, I like the bottom. I'll protect the bottom. He'll catfish on the inside. King outside lane. Now here comes that bump there again from Raz. Raz in the Burgundy 10 trying to give that bump there to the 66 from the tailgate of Yee. Another tailgate shot from Newton. To the lead goes Tyler King. 7 laps to go here in Duel number 1 in Daytona. And they roar their way back into the corner. 2 by 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 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 behind them. To the super stretch. Yee to the inside. Hangs on to the bleed. He'll stay to the bottom. King on the outside lane. No one jumping out of line yet. When do you make your move? 1 minute it was King up in front. Now it's Yee back on the inside. Got some more help on the top shelf, and they're going to run with him. King will go with Newton. Newton will go with Brightsman, and vice versa. 6 to go. Tyler Kim on board from the side, right passenger. And looking at driver right, and there is driver left of 81 Newton. Now he gets on the door draft and sides. King. This is on the back straightaway. Backstretch into 3. Coming to the open hand from your flagman this time by in Duel 1. They'll re-rack them, restack them in the second pack and do a duel again for another 20 laps. And then it culminates with the LSRTV 200 to open up the season for the Northwest Racing Series Truck Season 9. 5 to go. Back to 1 and Yee leads. Back straight away. Into 3. How about Carl Burke getting up there? He's going to carry Brightsman with him. Inside, Kim. That's the Valvoline colors. The veteran racer, Carl Burke, that's on driver, camera right. Newton and Brightsman having their little tango there on the top side. To the tri-oval. 4 laps to go. They just crossed the start-finish. Shuffling in front of them between Yee, Raz, King, and Kim. And shuffle to the back. Some of those names are. Kim goes all the way back now. Brightsman falling back in the top 10. People get a little antsy there. Got to back her down, got to reset. Still a lot of racing left to go, believe it or not. Oh, 10 miles left to go here in duel number 1. Brightsman, little wiggle there behind Newton. They hold on to it. Newton on the outside. Here comes Yee on the bottom. Yee looking inside and outside is going to be Cole Raz. Raz will follow. Garber there as well to the inside. And King will stay up on the outside lane. 3 laps to go. 7.5 miles remain here in duel number 1. Top 15 that are non-points related are transferring in. If you've got a provisional, you're lucky you get it for 43 spots. Back straight away into 3. Here comes now Garber. Garber inside of Newton. Up on the outside lane is also Brightsman. Devin West is there as well. Through the tri-oval off turn 4. Here they come. 2 laps to go. It's time to make your move. Place your bets at the Virtual World Center of Racing. In truck race number 1, you're trying to make the LSRTV 200. You got to do it now. Yee to the inside. Raz will follow. Lap truck on the bottom. Gets out of harm's way. That's Cox. Off of 2. Down the super stretch. They still hold it in line. Back straight away. There you see that second pack. But they've lost the conga line. This big storm brewing into that 3rd turn. With Yee on the inside. King on the outside lane. Here comes now Raz. Raz with Newton. And they'll flip-flop and change up spots. King a little razzle-dazzle. He gets a little wiggle. So does King. So does Brightsman. They're going to start shifting out from 2x2 to 3 to 4 wide to the CRN 1 to go. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go in duel number 1. 3 wide behind the top 3. Single file. Whole shot. The 1 goes to Yee. And this is for all the marbles. Truck getting sideways. I think they hold on to it. Working off 2. Final time, single file. Hold on there, Garber. Garber trying to make a move on the inside of Raz. He could have turned him, but he didn't. He played nice and backed off. Field works into 3. Justin Yee holds on. Raz is there. Raz, the Daytona Cup winner unofficially. Now trying to be the duel 1 winner. He gets turned, trouble. Tyler King goes around. Brightsman goes around. Kim goes around. West is around. Meanwhile, to the line, checkered flag. Justin Yee will hold off Cole Raz and Garber for duel race number 1. Product of the nature of the beast coming down to the end. You knew it was bound to happen. And when it's said and done, Justin Yee will win duel number 1 here at Daytona. Justin Yee, Cole Raz, Casey Garber, Cameron Iverson, David Applegate, your top 5. Newton McDonald, Gamble, Lundberg, Peterson, your top 10. Let's look at the bottom of the top 20, including Daggett, Brightsman, King, West, Retterer, Rogers, Kim, Burke, Harrison, Clark. 1 lap down, and the rest of the field, Ray Fournier, Eric Cox, and Toby Ritters. Justin Yee winning duel race number 1. We will step away, and duel 2 is next. Welcome back to iRacing on LSRTV. We're getting ready now for dual race number 2. We also have those that are listening on the Community Radio Network as we're coming up on midnight Eastern time. I'm Wesley Outland. Hopefully we'll be joined by Samuel Dyer very soon for the LSRTV 200. There is one more qualifying race that remains, and that is right now, dual race number 2. And as I said, you can see it starting to get darker and darker, and the lights are beginning to come on here around Daytona. Here is your lineup for dual number 2. Top 15 transfer, 20 laps, just like the first one by Justin Yee. Kevin Smith out of Hermiston, Washington on the pole, and Jeff Stabnow to the outside. Row number 2 is going to find Brett Johnson in the 7, Dan West Jr. in the 55. Row 3, Dennis Moore in the 44, Angel Ortega in 68. Row 4 is going to find Stephen O'Hare and Dylan Huffines. Let's speed it up. Row number 5 is going to find the driver of white, and of course, Hunter. Row number 6, top 12 on the grid. Dean Moore, Bruce Lee Weaver. Row number 7, top 14. Dan Lowther and Briar Reynolds. Row 8 tonight, BJ Duvall, Chris Kynes. Row number 9 will find James Vining and Roy Grande. Your top 20 looks like this: John Ottenbacher and Aaron Cooper Bug Eyes. Row number 11 on the grid, Alex Duda, Lad Ronning, 16 and 14. Row number 12 in the back, starting at the rear, Scott Hutchinson. And we're joined in the booth by Samuel Dyer. Samuel, Justin Yee just took duel number 1. We're getting ready for one more preliminary race, duel 2. It's coming up next, my friend.
Oh, I'm happy I didn't miss the complete show. Just missed a little bit of it, but I'm excited to see how these drivers are going to go. Duel 2, who's going to make it to the featured race? I'm excited to see who's in and who's out.
Should be fun. Again, as we mentioned, duel number 2, 20 laps. Top 15 make it in. And again, as I was emphasizing earlier when we come to green in the first duel, I'll say it again in the second duel, Samuel. This is why you want to have a provisional. All those years, last year of hard work and dedication and trying to be there at the end, try to be in the playoffs, try to have the points you're needed. You could have a bad night here in this duel race. Somebody that's trying to be in the race by virtue of no provisionals could take you out. As they come to the line, green flag in the air, we're underway in duel number 2. So as I said, Sam, it's good to have a provisional from last year because you don't know what this race will entail in the next 20 laps.
You absolutely don't, but there is one driver that's feeling a little bit out of sorts and doesn't want to get themselves in trouble. That's going to be Briar Reynolds. Decided to start on pit road. The 12, he's banking on a yellow to happen up front.
Oh, that's not good for Briar Reynolds right out of the gate in the 12. Remember, we did have a wreck on lap 1 in duel 1. This time, no harm, no foul. Team LSRTV teammates up at the front of the pack with Billings, Montana, Jeff Stabnow in the LSRTV CRN Ford. And then you've got the other machine in the number 55 of Dan West Jr. on the outside lane. He's in a Chevrolet. They're also teammates. They come to the tri-oval, lap number 1. Give it to Stabnow, back to turn 1, Samuel.
It's really nice to be having teammates leading the pack. You've got complete control. You can let each other know, okay, there's a run coming. Where do we need to place ourselves? But for that of Dan West Jr. in the 55 on the outside, you're starting to see that inside row a little bit closer, and it's all because of the double zero in the back. That of Kevin Smith. He's trying to get a big enough run so he can try to pop up and be that lead driver on the outside.
And remember what we talked about earlier, Samuel. We've also got the lights beginning to illuminate around here. Nightfall settling in. This race kind of has that same type of feel that you feel in the duels or the big truck race, if you will, on Friday night at Daytona during speed weeks. It's right before nightfall. Nightfall will be the LSRTV 200. It's going to be a wild 80 laps. And right now, a couple of laps in, it's still Stabnow, Weston Smith, Ortega. What a good run for him. Johnson, a new name, trying to hang in the top 5 as they go up to turn 1.
I love it when I see from Ortega running that iRacing official truck on the outside. Just just having fun up there. Kind of scaring the majority of the field might be of, oh God, there's official out here. But Ortega, certainly you can tell what vehicle that is. We're supposed to be the 68, but hey, why not be the official truck out there on track?
He might need to change that lettering to the official race truck instead of the official pace truck, as right now he sits in the top 5 right behind nose to tailgate on the 55 of Dan West Jr. They work their way through the tri-oval, back to start finish. this time by 18. Now make it 17 laps to go. There's the pack. They give it the speed. We got another Feel the Roar. It's coming up when we get all 43 of these monsters roaring virtually all around Daytona. But for right now, it's Stab Now. West, Smith, Ortega, Johnson working their way, coming off of turn number 4. Stab Now. Samuel, he led most of the race in Daytona the second half on Monday night. Cup car looked good. I know he really wanted to go to victory lane. Had that strategy of running out of fuel get to him. But I will tell you what, Samuel, we saw the good, the bad, the ugly for Jeff Stab Now. He wants to win a race this year. He definitely does.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of woes. The only win that really was grabbed by the 24 was in the ARCA race at Iowa. And he was wanting to win in the trucks, wanting to win in the cups, came so close so many times. But just that now, it's a new season. There's new faces out there, a new truck that these drivers are running. It's exciting to see everything that's new and coming to life. And it all is on here on LSRTV. And I'm excited, Wesley. I mean, we're starting to see some drivers. You saw the 44, Dennis Moore. What a season he had last season for the 44 truck. He's now loving to see a new season around on what type of new goodies the driver's going to have for themselves. Who's going to be, finding that extra speed this season? And they're running that open setup. So all these drivers had all off season to get these trucks toned in and right where they wanted it for speed and to make sure they are up front battling. And right now it's Team LSRTV that's dominating stage that of the duels number 2.
You know, Samuel, it's kind of crazy, bud, because we look at duel number 2, and I've said this numerous times, real or in this iRacing world, the duels are totally different animals, obviously, even from what they are from the first one. You saw the first duel, they were wrecking on the first lap. We're in the second duel now, and we're literally 5 laps in, green flag, they're nose to tail, side by side, nobody jumping out of line, nobody bump drafting, everyone respects each other. These guys know this is at the end of the line. The bigger picture is with 5 laps to go, not 15 laps to go, as the conga line goes 2 by 2 now, working their way off turn 4. Give the lead flip-flop back and forth to Weston Stab down to the line.
Yeah, and duels, I mean, having the whole entire speed week in one night, I mean, it changes a lot for these drivers. You had qualifying to start things off, and then duel 1, where you saw a lot of more calamity for these drivers in the early going. For duel 2, you had all these drivers just waiting. They got to see that chaos. They had the decision of just wait, or do we want to get aggressive ourselves? And I'm loving the fact that the drivers have been waiting, but a great move there by Kevin Smith, sliding up, leaving Stab Now, and now leading the inside row.
Kevin Smith inside, making that run on the bottom. Little help. Little help from Stab Now. And you notice, again, as I mentioned, Sam, a little bump. Click It RV Milton Freewater is his new sponsor on that machine. And that 00 looking good. But you see Stab Now, Samuel, just a little bump. He backs away, lets him have it again. That's respecting one another as we come 7 laps in this time into 3.
It absolutely is. You're trying to give each other, the bumper, front bumper, the back bumper. Do not line up with these trucks. You have to be perfectly straight and making sure that each bumper is at least centered when you give a bump. If you're any off left or right, you're going to be spinning the driver in front of you around. So for Jeff Stab Now, he's got to be careful. Angel Ortega, who's in that second truck on the outside, also has to be careful on these bumps. The rest of the field, they're feeling trapped right now. I mean, if you look at the super speedways, Talladega and Daytona, Daytona is a lot more of the narrower of the 2 super speedways, and you can go 3 wide, but it's got to be a group effort of trying to make a pass. And just like that, Jeff Stab Now trying to do the same exact move that he saw that of Kevin Smith do on the 24 himself, and instead gets the teammate Bush trying to lead that inside row again. Beautiful move, and that's going to be the spot that we're most likely going to have to see, that second truck on the inside. They're the ones that have the power to make passes, just like that second lead change here tonight.
West and Stab Now, Ortega, 1, 2, and 3. Cross the line. 11 to go. Back to one. Teammates still there. Smith, Ortega right there in the pack with one another. Remember, Ortega is in that official pace truck colors. I don't know how the heck he pulled that off, but he did. And the number is 68, mind you.
my guess, he's probably running officials, forgot what scheme he was supposed to put on, and came away with that one here tonight. But, you know, it's still beginning of the season. We got next week. I think that's when we're going to see the drivers really start to get into a little bit of a calmer state, because Daytona is just so much ramped up energy. The drivers had all season, off season, to get to this point. They've been waiting for this off season for so long, Wesley, in a super speedway to always start it off, a track that everybody has an opportunity from last place to first place to win. You know, everyone's just waiting for this race to start.
Halfway, mind you, as well. Last time, Bob, when they came to the start-finish line, it is 10 down and 10 to go, and now they work down the super stretch. You got to think it's starting to be go time now. Back straightaway to 3. Stab down, still hugs the bottom. West on the outside. Smith gives him a push. You know, I got to say this humbly, Samuel. We saw the success that of course Kevin Smith had moving into the end of the season, the latter parts of the year. So close. Started getting poles. Won ARCA races. Started being a contender in Cup and Truck. And I believe down the stretch this season, we're going to talk to Kevin Smith in victory lane.
Kevin Smith and Dennis Moore, those are two trucks that I have been just so excited and hyped to see what they're going to bring for this season. And as well as some of the other drivers that are coming into this season that weren't regulars that we were watching week in and week out through the second half of the Trucks and Cup season last year. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring, what teams and drivers that we haven't touched on. Oh boy, 00, got to be careful.
Wow. 9, make it 8 laps to go this time by. Wow, Smith, what a save. Boy, he lost some spots, but he got those grounds back. And caution's out. Caution out, and it might be for Smith. Oh, it's Dan Lowther as well.
Oh, and it also looks like it might be the 14 as well. And this all started with that of Kevin Smith. Watch the entry of the 00. He's going to touch the apron, and everyone on the inside row is just going to slow down. Accordion effect through everyone else trying to make an amazing saves, and there's just so much you can do in the back half of the field when everyone is slipping and sliding in just like that.
Oh, yeah, and as you said, Samuel, it all started when Kevin Smith got down below the apron there and got a little loose, and then that made everybody check up behind them. And you see the end result of these other trucks being involved.
Luckily for all these drivers that were involved, they do have a fast repair for themselves in pit road. So the race isn't done here for the duel number 2, but certainly you don't want to be set back, as we've seen they've been gridlocked at 2 wide for all of this duel number 2, making it very difficult if you want to make any type of passing. That means we might have to see a third lane grow here once we go green again.
I don't think anybody's coming to the pit lane. It would be crazy to give up track position if you did that, Samuel. Some trucks in the back are, but the front runners are staying out with 7 to go.
Yeah, the drivers that were heavily involved in the last accident, they're going to be the ones that have to come in, and that's going to be 14th on back, being led by Stephen O'Hare. Going to be coming in, most likely going to use a fast repair or see how bad the damage is. Get those repairs done and get back out on track. That's the goal for the majority of the field coming into pit road. And man, Angel Ortega, that official truck just throws me off. I'm so used to seeing the actual pace truck, and it's so weird seeing an actual one of the cars running that official scheme on the outside.
Kind of funny we mentioned the pace truck, because that same wrap job pace truck was actually leading the field in tonight's round 4 of the Power I 410 non-wing sprint series at Peevely, Missouri, Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway, and that's what the truck looks like. So, Dan West Jr., truck, leading the way, duel number 2. And again, there is less than 10 laps to go. Winner of this event, of course, will go to the outside of the front row of row 2 is what I meant to say. Winner of duel 1 will start inside row 2. Front row determined by, how about this, Samuel, as we're still under caution. Lake Peterson, obviously, we know the success that guy's had. How about Ryan Bloom? ARCA Northwest champion last year. Could this be a breakout season for that driver as well? He was on the outside, and he will be on the outside front row for the race later this afternoon.
I mean, I could say I'm surprised, but if you look at qualifying last season, Ryan Bloom was fast for putting those one lap down, and he certainly did it once again, being up there. And I mean, Lake Peterson. Lake Peterson has had a great offseason of super speedway racing. He's won a lot of big events throughout the offseason at super speedways. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lake in victory lane at the end of the night, but there's a lot of work to be done if they want to get it, because there's still, after this duel, the featured race.
And that live sim racing TV 200 will come up. And as we said, Samuel, you're watching it start to get darker and darker and darker. It's like watching a real race, watching the way it goes down. So yeah.
Yeah, and the factor of the sunlight, that is a major factor for these drivers. I think it was more so influencing that of the Duel 1 race, where the sun was just over the grandstands. Start of Duel 2, the sun finally crept underneath behind the grandstands. The sunlight wasn't a factor for these drivers, but man, it is nice when the lights finally flicker on and the show is ready for all these drivers.
Ready for the field to come back for restart. It is Dan West Jr. out in front. Stab now is now the teammate for Dan West behind him. As you have Ortega on the outside. Don't count out that number 20 truck. He's been kind of quiet, being patient. Dylan Huffines. Dilly, top 4. 5th along as well. Green flag back in the air. Coming to the line. 5 laps to go in duel number 2. Pick your poison, down to turn 1. And Dan West Jr. There's your 3 cameras. I wonder when tonight was going to show that. Look at that, Samuel. 3 different camera angles of the action going on around Daytona.
Oh, I'm loving it. You see the battle cam on the left, then on your top right on the back of the 55. That jump wasn't lined up with Stab now. It almost got the 55 out of shape, and all 3 cameras. Oh, Wesley captured all of that moment.
That was on board in the back and on the side with Dan West Jr. Multiple triple camera angles working their way from the flag stand view. Close from the speed shot to the tower view. 4 to go. And from the tailgate of the back of the 55 of Dan West Jr. And his teammate Stab now's coming in again. Ortega leads him off turn number 2 with 4 laps to go in duel 2. Not for long.
What a move by the 55, trying to get up to the high side. Got to get a little bit of help there from Huffines. 3 wide, back for second place, though.
Oh, trouble. Huffines got turned. He goes into the wall. They're wrecking behind the back view of the machine of the 55 of Dan West Jr. And the caution will come out with under 10 miles to go. You see trucks wrecked, including Stephen O'Hare, Scott Hutchinson, Samuel. It started when the 20 of Dylan Huffines got turned in the middle of the pack, going to 3.
It was 2 different incidents that happened. This is going to be seeing drivers further back get collected up in an incident, and then also in the meat of the pot, we're going to be seeing drivers. Here's the first incident of drivers being caught up with a mess. They're going to be checking up, seeing that they were checking up ahead. Did not do so. It's the 41 into the 6 of Chris White. And then further up ahead, you see the aftermath. I believe that was the 40. Bruce Lee Weaverly, that was the one that was involved that got shot down and came back up. But certainly, a lot of drivers that already use fast repairs, they got to be concerned on the amount of damage that they just collected.
Got to show you the 20 of Dylan Huffines, and we're looking at it right now. Watch the 20 truck. This was right in the middle of that battle in the top 5. He was literally in the hunt. And just simply bump draft gone wrong. Look at it again. Well, you see Huffine, well, no, that's Kevin Smith, actually. And you see Kevin Smith already turn. Oh my goodness, 71, Aaron Cooper airborne. And Samuel, Aaron Cooper did a phenomenal job in the race for the Cup Series on Monday night. One more look at it from topside.
Just showing, I mean, there's ripple effects. We were seeing it from the back, now we're moving forward, trying to see where the catalyst of all this incident happened. 3 wide, knew that this was going to start to happen, of drivers trying to go 3 wide.
Watch the 20. Watch that 20 behind the 55, Samuel. This is when it all went south right here. Look at this.
Oh, it was the 44. Just came in with so much speed, was not expecting the checkup, and just slammed into Kevin Smith.
The 20, the 00, the 41, all of them, all in a pack. And guess what? I don't know if we're going to be able to go the distance here. We might go to overtime here in Duel 2.
And just like you call it, Wesley, we are. Overtime, first attempt of 2 if needed.
So here's the deal in overtime. Obviously, it's just like in the real races. We'll run back to the line, 2 attempts. If the caution comes out before the white, on the first attempt, we'll reset, we'll go again. Second attempt, if the caution comes out before the white, then we're done. If the white flag flies, Samuel, this race will go to a finish, wreckers or checkers. They come back around to the checker flag.
Oh, man, if we get that white flag, who's going to survive and make it to the end? There are a couple of drivers still in pit road. Aaron Cooper able to get going once again, but he's going to be 1 lap down. Dan Lather's going to be 2 laps down. So those 2 drivers are going to be 22nd, 23rd position. And still in pit road getting repairs done is going to be Chris Kynes, who already had used a fast repair, so might be in pit road too long to get back out on track, which could leave us with only 20 drivers on the lead lap. And Wesley, you've already said it, top 15 automatically lock in.
That's right. Ready to do this one again. Top 15 lock in. And as I mentioned earlier, as the lights, I believe, will go off on the pace car this time by. 1 to go, next time by in green. And as I mentioned earlier, honestly, Samuel, it's good to have a provisional. Because if you don't, this gives you, obviously, the opportunity. If you're one of these guys that are trying to get up in the front and make the show, crazy shenanigans can happen. If you've got a provisional, it might make you want to race smarter. It might make you want to hang in the back because you know you got that wild card, that joker, if you will, to go to the next race.
I mean, the provisional is so nice just because it is that safety net for these drivers. But at the same time, I mean, this is great practice to have. This is your only time to test out if we're in overtime in the actual race and I'm stuck in a hypothetical position I'm in, how do I get up front? And this is your best chance to practice before you get into the real thing.
The 2022 lid lifter of Season 9 of the Northwest iRacing Series Trucks, Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland here with you, Charles Wooten, Rocket Media, LSR Productions doing a phenomenal job. And we settle in for a restart. The lights are off on the pace car. Pace car is going to come to the pit lane. It is going to be shootout number 1. Remember, green, white, checker. They take the white, race is over. 3 camera angles again. Back on board this time with Jeff Stab now and Dan West Jr. as they send him off into turn number 1.
Seeing how they're working on the outside.
And that's Angel Ortega, by the way, Samuel. That's the backdoor camera of Angel Ortega.
And Ortega right now getting a great shove. Currently by seat on the outside of Upvines. And Upvines, they need a little bit more help. 2 laps to go, Wesley, and there's really no lane that is collected with one another.
into 3. Ortega up the outside. Help from Huffines. Dilly got lucky the last time. They roar off from the speed shot to turn 4 to the tri-oval. No one jumps out of line. Dan West Jr., defending Truck Series champion, mind you, comes to the line. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go. The Sierra and 1 to go. Duel number 2. Dan West Jr. Ortega one more time on the outside to turn 1.
Gloves are off. It doesn't matter anymore. If you wreck, you got to just race it to the end because you don't know how many big ones are going to happen for these drivers. Dan West Jr. looking good with that outside line, Wesley. Here comes the momentum on the backstretch into turn number 3.
A wiggle there. Huffines can't decide where to go. Neither can the 7. They'll close back in. That's on the 7 of Brett Johnson. Johnson now closing in on the 3. They'll stay 2 by 2 by 2. Into formation. Someone's got to jump out of line. No one yet. No one bobs. No one weaves. They'll stay that way. Ortega, momentum on the outside. They turn each other. Ortega crashes. Flying through the air is trucks. Calamity everywhere. And it's going to be number 20, number 68, Angel Ortega, unofficially by timing and scoring, is your winner. Understand
so
Ortega,
close.
though, he has crashed. He won.
Wesley, on your ticker, it says
Wow.
Ortega. Mine, it says Dan West Jr. It might be less than 1,000th of a second, the difference between these two drivers across the line.
Angel Ortega, 48-42. Dan West Jr., 48-42. The finish interval, 0.00. And unofficially, according to Live Sim Racing Time and in scoring, Dan West Jr. wins by 1/1000th of a second. Oh my goodness, Samuel. Wow.
I mean, there's no other way to get it that close. Ortega tried everything, but the fact that he got sideways and scrubbed off pace, he could have won it. But it was the 55 who was good on that of the inside who gets the win for duel number 2.
Dan West Jr. wins. Ortega second. Huffines is third. Johnson and Bottenbacher the top 5. Then it was Bruce Lee Weaver, Jeff Stabnow, Briar Reynolds, BJ Duvall, Ron Hunter, your top 10.
Wesley, remember, Brian Reynolds started on pit road when this duel happened.
Oh, yes.
And gets a top
Oh, yes.
10 finish with that of Dean Morgan going to be getting that 11th, for the 33. James Vining, the Catman, gets 12th. Stephen O'Hare gets 13th. Dennis Moore gets 14th. And taking the 15th spot, automatically locked in, goes to that of Kevin Smith. With Hutchinson's, Rooney, as well as that of Chris White, Roy Grande, and Alex Dunna going to be getting that 20th position.
Alex Duda, Aaron Cooper, Dan Lowther, and Chris Keynes running down. Now, here's the thing, Samuel. You think about provisionals, you think about guys like Dan Lowther. You think about guys like Aaron Cooper. Those that have been committed all year long last season, they're the ones that are lucky. They get that provisional to keep themselves to run this race. They gotta tally it out, obviously. But we'll find out who gets provisionals here very soon. It's been a while since we've gone to commercial break. We'll do that right now. The duels are done. It's the lid lifter for 2022 and Season 9 of the Northwest Truck Series. And you're watching iRacing on LSRTV. For the LSRTV, feel the roar in Daytona as the field comes to green at the world's center of racing. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race.
This is our series,
So many different pieces that you have to watch out for.
where the stakes are always higher,
$300,000.
where virtual meets reality,
How bad do you want it?
They're wasting no time getting at it.
where the best thrive and the flawless win. This is the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Samuel Dyer, I am Wesley Outland, and you are looking live under the lights at the virtual Daytona International Speedway, located off of Interstate 95 in the Sunshine State of Florida, down US 1, 5 miles to the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. There you see Lake Lloyd, which is, by the way, a man-made lake. They actually man-made that lake on the back straightaway. True story. And we're ready to go here. It's the site of the, can we do this again, Charles, all over again? The LSRTV 200. The graphics, all the cool things. The duels are done. It is now race time. Samuel Dyer, I'm Wesley Outland. And Samuel, we have seen the preliminaries, qualifying. Now we prepare for 43 roaring trucks to slip slide away on the high banks of Daytona and survive 200 miles to be there at night's end as the race one winner.
The lights are on, the sun is gone, and I'm excited for it, Wesley. A brand new season where the duels have already shown the most exciting finishes that we potentially could see to finish and get the first win to start out the season the right way. And for some drivers here tonight, it could be the worst way to start out their season, but they're all hoping for the end of the night to just be there with an opportunity and a chance to win.
So, Samuel, as we await these final minutes before the field settles for 200 miles, 80 laps, and practice is ongoing, what do you think of what we saw in the duels and the outcome that will come for the big race later on here coming up in a few minutes?
I gotta say, I love the fact that we saw the patience from duel number 2 in the early portions. I think that's exactly what we're gonna see for the majority of the race here tonight. We're gonna see a lot of patience being kicked in, but the goal of the whole entire night is to make it to the end of the race. But I'm really interested to see how they're going to be able to work with one another. Teammates, can you get close and stay with one another, or are you going to make your own solo type of runs? These trucks, so different from the Cup cars where you can get major runs like both of them you can, but these trucks, you can make some hero moves by yourself. If you get a big enough run, you could pass 2 to 3 trucks on your own. I'm interested to see drivers that are further back. Going to be starting back in 30th, 40th, potentially even top 25. Who's going to start back there and work their way up to the front, and who's going to start early on to just drop to the back immediately?
Well, we certainly will see how all this develops here as these drivers are getting ready to go for this race. They're gritting, and that's a good sign. For the first time this year, it's the Team 126 Racing starting lineup. We're ready to go at Daytona. We're going to go 20 by 20 now this year, Samuel. It's faster. Row 1, Ryan Bloom, the ARCA champion, and the qualifier fast man, Caden Anderson in the 37, row 1. Row 2, we'll find Justin Yee and Dan West Jr. Row 3 on the grid, you're going to look for Cole Raz, Daytona unofficial Cup winner Monday night, and Angel Ortega. Row number 4, Casey Garber, Dylan Huffines. Row 5 in your top 10, Cameron Iverson and Brett Johnson. Go Yankees, baseball's back April 7th. Row 6, David Applegate in the 67, John Ottenbacher in 89. Row 7 on the grid, we'll find Paul Newton and Bruce Lee Weaver. Row number 8 on the grid, Vinnie McConnell in 43, Jeff Stabnow in the 24. Row number 9, Robert Campbell in 54, Brian Reynolds in the 12. And your top 20, Samuel Dyer, 129, Russ Lundberg, and BJ Duvall in the 85, the Cowboy ready.
You got Blake Peterson going to be all the way back here for the start of row number 11. Ron Hunter going to be in the 22, finishing off row number 11 here. Troy Daggett in the 51, driver that ran well in the ARCA series. Going to hope that he can translate that to the trucks here tonight. Going to be also that of Dean Moore in the 33. Row number 13, we find that of Sean Reitzman going to be back here with that of James Vining in the 333. Row 14 finds that of Tyler King, as well as Stephen O'Hare, Beaver State Racing teammates, see if they can work with one another or if they're going to stay back for most of the race. You've also find that of Devin West, as well as Dennis Moore in the 44, finishing out row number 15. Then it's going to be that of Brett Reeder as well as that of Kevin Smith in a 0-0. Going to be finishing out row number 16. Row number 17, find that of Dana Rogers as well as Scott Hutchinson in the 91. Row 18 finds that of Frank Harris and that of Lad Rooney, as well as finishing out these last couple of rows. It's Chris White, that of Carl Burke, and that final couple of rows. It's Roy Grande, that of Bryce Clark, and also going to be that of Ray Fournier as well as Aaron Cooper. Finishing out row 21 with Dan Lowther and Toby Ritters finishing out our 22 rows here tonight.
Field is set. This time by coming out of turn 4. They're going to get the green flag. It is go time. It is finally here. The Northwest Racing Series, the premier iRacing esports program on live sim racing and the Community Radio Network. The first, feel the roar at the World Center of Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a race. Here they come to the Triangle. 1 lap in. And I guess they changed their mind, Samuel. It's going to be 175 miles and 70 laps, the distance. It's not going to be 80 laps, which would be the equivalent of 200 miles like the ARCA Series runs at Daytona. So, yeah, that's going to change everything as well in my head about strategy, because still going to be 35 to 40 laps. You still might have a one pit stop if this race goes the distance. Green flag with Justin Yee right now in the front.
Justin Yee wanting to lead, and here comes that 66. And yeah, with it being 70 laps, we were talking to the drivers, getting the fuel run type of scenarios. It was about that of 35 to 40 laps. So this race will be a one-stop, but that's if we stay green. But if Wesley, we look at how the duels went, we know there's always that rumbling of the big one.
And the question is not a matter of when, if. It is what time it will happen, if and when. There goes Yee, under attack by Garber. Garber went from the inside to the outside lane. You saw him change up those spots and drifted up in front to the lead. Ryan Bloom to the inside. Look at the 9 also up in this battle. Lake Peterson. All of this racing going on. Iverson and West. Here they come, working through the tri-oval.
And Wesley, want to give note, Caden Anderson, he was up in our top 5 going out at turn 2 last lap. He decided to go on the apron on the backstretch, has dropped all the way back to 18th, just trying to get away from all this calamity that we're seeing up front. There's a lot of pushing and shoving, and some of these drivers are recognizing it is getting a little bit too racy for some of the drivers. Liking, they want to back out because they feel like there's too much aggression. Drivers are way too aggressive here in the early portion. Yes, it is cut down. It is only 70 laps. But these drivers are being a little bit too antsy and could see a big one up front. Also want to give note that of Chris White and Brett Johnson. Both drivers decided to start on pit road. They're banking on a yellow as well, but they need a yellow quick because they're 31 to 35 seconds back from the leaders. That means they're only 15 seconds away, which is only just out of 5 laps from going a lap down.
Samuel, it's funny you mentioned Chris White. Chris White, the defending Northwest Cup Series champion. He did not race in the Cup event on Monday, so it's good to see him here in the truck. And obviously, Dan West Jr., the back-to-back champion of the Northwest Racing Truck Series program in season 7 and 8. And right there in that cast whisker of the pack as he's behind Cole Raz, couple of black trucks going at it on the inside with Yee, Garber, Bloom, and then you got those kaleidoscope of colors led by the Burgundy 10 of the Daytona winner of the Cup race unofficially on Monday. Cole Raz, Dan West Jr. with him. They come to the line. We're 5 laps in.
Cole Raz, I mean, always going to be a threat when he's on track. Same with Caden Anderson, and two very different strategies being thrown by those two drivers. Caden Anderson, like I noted on, dropped back, and he continues to pull back to 27th, while Cole Raz wants to be up front. And those are two different mentalities for drivers. Most of the time, the goal is be up front, lead the lane. You want to be up in the top 8 to top 5. If you're in those positions, you feel like you're in a safe place. Yes, there's a lot of pushing and shoving, but at least you're up front with everyone else and staying aggressive, and you know what everyone else is going to be bringing. Other drivers are going to stay on back around 20th or further back, trying to space each other out, not want to be collected in the big one. That's going to be a big thing. Is for the drivers that are stuck in the middle, that are trying to get up front, that are trying to fade back. Those drivers that are swapping back and forth, those are the potential chances of seeing a wreck in the middle of the field.
That's on board with the leader, Justin Yee. Garber reeling him in on the inside. 7 in, everyone plays nice. They're still in a big pack, 2 by 2. One truck pushed out of line. Hold on there, buddy.
Hold on.
Hold on there. Another truck pushed out of line. Another truck pushed out of line. And they open them up each other, and there goes Audenbacher. I think he gets loose. Audenbacher's in trouble. He saves it. We're still green. Are you kidding me? We about had 3 wrecks in the corner from the backstretch to 3, and no one crashed.
They might have been pointed 20, 10 degrees the wrong way, but they got helped and straightened out. The front pack now going to be only our top 15 currently, but everyone else somehow holds on. I don't know how they did that, Wesley. That should have been a big one, and that is big props to this field and the skill level that's in this league.
Wow. Raz right there in the lead. West on the outside, Yee the third, Ortega and Bloom. And look who's back in that pack again along with Huffines. Stab now, Peterson, McDonald, Iverson. Look at Huffines, looking to the outside, to the inside, rear, back to the tailgate of the machine of Ortega. And they'll stay door to door across the line. 8 laps now, 9 in.
This lead pack, again, it's going to be seeing our drivers trying to stay with one another. It's going to be, if they can stay together. This is our top 15. They're in this lead pack that are working. They're also catching up to lap traffic. That first driver they're catching up to going to be Chris White. I'm interested to see how White's just going to get out of the way, or if he's going to be staying aggressive up front.
Here comes the 6 up on out of the way of everybody. Getting past. That's a tough break there for truck number 6. Beautiful looking machine of Chris White, the defending Cup Series champion. And the problem again, Samuel, you mentioned him as he comes to the trial. Well, they pass him like a sitting duck. And it is Raz under attack now by Yee. Still West on the outside. Ortega with him. Yeah, here we go. Off 2. Yeah. Working 10 this time by.
Chris White as well as that of Brett Johnson, both going to be drivers that decided to start on pit road. They initially thought they were going to see a yellow come out, and you could see that 7 machine, another driver that's potentially going to go a lap down with the 6 already. They've got to be careful, though, in the corners. Again, when you're passing these drivers, you got forced 3 wide, that outer lane, they have to squeeze down, hope they don't make any contact. If you're a lap driver, you might go on the apron, get out of the way. And for the 7, he just stays low. Everyone on the low line have to merge up. And that's a tricky spot. I mean, like to go the higher line. So not everyone, the outside and the low side, have to move at once.
10 in, 60 to go. Top 5, single file. Tailgate to tailgate. Nose to tailgate, down the back straightaway. Here comes now Ryan Bloom. The ARCA champion wants to jump out of line. He'll open the door for Stab now. Here comes also Johnson. In the middle lane is also Iverson. 3 wide in front of the machines of West and Bloom and Yee. We're still trying to run down Raz for the
Oh,
lead
no.
off of turn 4.
Wreck, and it's this lead pack. Lap
Trouble.
traffic was involved.
Oh, no. Caution out for the first time. 10 laps in this race, now make it 11. Caution in the triangle exiting turn 4. Samuel, you saw it broke loose.
It's going to be in the middle of 3 and 4. You got Brett Johnson, who just went a lap down, and going to get aggressive here. And honestly, this is further back. This is the second pack of drivers that are also getting aggressive with one another. And there's a lot of discussion over the radio of these drivers saying, hey, why aren't we in line trying to catch up to this lead group? And then they're going to come flying by the drivers that were already wrecked coming out of turn 4 and already in front. And then more drivers get collected in. It's just, there was no communication over the radio of there's a wreck in 3 and 4. The second pack just became blind coming through that corner.
Raz is the man out in front. Samuel Cole Raz won this race on Monday night. He won the Cup race here at Daytona on Monday.
I mean, it's a rare thing to do.
Can he repeat and can he repeat and sweep the weekend? You know, we talk about NASCAR, we talk about, qualifying, winning your duel, winning your, obviously, truck or Cup, Xfinity, and Cup race at Daytona. They talk about Earnhardt doing it or Gordon or other people. Could we see in the Northwest iRacing world Justin Yee win the trucks tonight by virtue of also winning the Cup race from Monday? And by the way, the Cup race is still unofficial. But right now, pending, he is the winner.
That's the big thing. It's still pending, but we can't say unofficially winner from Monday. But that sweep, it's so rare. And you look at all the drivers that have won the Cup Series, still kind of young. If you compare it to the way this truck season, this is going to be season number 9 for these drivers for the Northwest Truck Series. Compared to the Cup Series, it's still new and growing. But, I mean, what a history moment that you could have for that of Cole Raz to say, I swept for season 9 in the Truck Series. I took the win at Daytona, and I also won the Cup Series championship as well.
13 of 70 underway at Daytona. Let's take a look at your saw blade top 5 after the pit stops on the top left. And there they are, as Ryan Bloom, the ARCA champion, leading the charge. Jeff Stabnow, Dan West Jr. take advantage of pit stops. Some stay out, some stay on, some go in. McConnell, Duval, top 5 here at Daytona. We are getting ready to go to a break, and we'll come back for the restart. The lights will go off on the pace car this time by, and we'll get ready to go back to green. As Ryan Bloom continuing to lead this momentum, the wave around being offered to anybody else, and we'll set them in for the restart. It's really cool to see that 43 truck up there, Samuel. Man, I think of Richard Petty, the King, and Vinnie McDonald and that nice-looking machine there. New man out in front. We talked about Ryan Bloom. We talked about the success he had in ARCA. And Samuel, you said, oh,
whoa.
Wow, what the hell? Whoa, what in the world? Truck, is that Lad Ronning?
That
He
is
just
exactly
get turned
who it
and
is.
he spin out?
I'm going, I think he just spun out on it. He got spun. He just was so low, not giving space to the drivers on the inside to have space to warm up their tires, and got spun. And now trying to get back in line is going to be the 14. A bizarre moment that sometimes happens, but wow,
Hey,
you don't even see that very often.
He went through the banking and lost it. He went through the banking and lost it. It's like, mind you, you've never been to Daytona. You see it never really does it justice. Samuel, banking at Daytona, it's banked.
It is banked. I mean, easily, once you aren't pointing in the right direction, you'll go down. It was actually spun by Troy Daggett. That's what happened between those drivers.
Oh, my.
Looked like Troy needed to be on the high line, and it just, they weren't talking, communicating, and just wiped each other out.
To the line, green flag, back in the air. First attempt at a restart, second green flag of the season. And we're back to it again. And Bloom, much energy, 25, pulls away, down to the inside. He'll carry Dan West Jr. on the bottom. Teammate to West is to Stab now on the outside. McConnell behind him. And also Robert Campbell. Samuel, you mentioned Robert Campbell. Could tonight be the night for him? Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom, all these drivers that we've seen improve over the winter months than last season in the fall.
We had ourselves about 9 drivers who decided not to come into pit road, and so it's giving track position to that of McDonald as well as Gamble, that of Lowther. These drivers are now having an opportunity to work with one another up front, and I think this is what's gonna. I mean, this is what really Daytona Superspeedway Racing gives you, is all these drivers know. Technically, you just need to make one stop. You can come in and top off with fuel so you can have a little bit more of a buffer of strategy later on in the race. For everyone up front, they know we still have one more pit stop to go. We cannot make it from here. That's why some drivers went with track position over coming off and topping off with fuel.
So you got to think here. We're coming up on 15 in, working lap 16. This is on board with McConnell. Vinnie McConnell, the STP colors of Richard Petty. On the outside lane, this is for third. Look at Ryan Bloom power his way to the inside and carry West with him. And that's Jeff Stab now. It's like a conga line, if you will. It's like your dancing partner, Samuel. You sway left, you sway right, you sway left, you sway right. And then you just hope that they don't, tilt you the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing a lot more of a sway from Matt McDonald, a lot from the 43. Really, some of these drivers kind of get into bumper chasing, where they're just following the driver in front of them, trying to always keep their front nose lined up perfectly with the driver ahead. And sometimes drivers aren't always running the same line over and over again to have that consistency. So it causes some drivers to wobble and go up and down. Some move up just to give a little bit more air to their engine so they can cool off their temps. You cannot stay on the back bumper of the driver in front of you for too long. Otherwise, your oil and your water temps will rise, and the engine can blow. If you stay right on the back bumper for that of 2 to 3 laps, completely just pushing the driver in front of you, your engine will blow. So you've got to be constantly keeping your eye, 1, on the driver's bumper ahead of you, and 2, on your oil and water temps.
And while that goes on, field works their way to the back straightaway. To 3. Stab now out in front. It is Stab now. Now the new leader from Billings, Montana. He's on the outside lane, though, and Bloom will battle back on the bottom. Lap trucks are in front of them also in a few more laps as they work off 4 through the tri-oval. Got to be patient, Samuel. Am I right, buddy? You got to be patient. You got lap trucks in front of you. You're still in the early going. We're not even 20 laps in, 50 to go.
I mean, you'll love to see that from the 7. No longer going to just stay on the low line, but these 2 drivers will. That's going to be Ryan Reynolds in the 12. Was hoping to stay on the lead lap, will not. And now it's
O'Hare.
The juggling match. And oh boy, there goes the 41.
O'Hare.
Wasn't able to get down. Gets contact. And to the inside. Wall able to stay off the wall, but won't be with the draft. And there goes the field.
And that was the reason why they repaved that back straightaway, because that used to be the super stretch with infield grass. You think of 92, 93, and we got a caution now. Yellow flag is waving. We're trying to find out what happened here. Our cameras will catch it. And here's a look at the tail end of it. Oh, my goodness, there's Tyler King and some other drivers involved, and we are under yellow flag for the second time into turn number 3 and 4. Watch this. Samuel, this is right past this is after we got past the 41 of O'Hare.
And watch out for the 21 in the orange and the 07. This is where it all starts, thinking that they're clear, not, and there they go.
Just a simple bump draft. And you see the contact, and you see the... Is that 37, Caden Anderson? Is that he also caught up in it? I think he might have been involved. Oh, man, yeah, he is. Caden Anderson. Dean Moore. Dana Rogers. Tyler King. 4-truck accident.
And for a lot of drivers, that's not good to see there, Wesley.
Yeah, it's crazy. Man, oh man. Open up that door, just watch all that chaos break loose, and we saw that. My. And you know the thing is, Samuel, we're not done yet. Here comes trucks on the pit lane. And this might be their money stop. I know I'm saying this prematurely with 50 laps to go, but this could be the money stop for some of these guys to go to the finish.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot more cautions, and they're just going to have to stay out if they're wanting this to be the money stop. They're still top 5 drivers that have not come to pit road yet here tonight. They're going to have to be forced to come to pit road in about 20 to 25 laps, even with all the caution laps that have come out. But 50 laps is a lot to want to stretch it out. I think, Wesley, I don't think we're done with cautions just yet. Yes, we've seen a lot of big ones so far, but we haven't seen, it's majority been the drivers that are in the middle of the pack that have had the majority of the contact between one another. But up front, we know there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving. Once we get to that 20 to 10 lap to go marker, that's when really everything's going to just unravel on this whole dark field.
Ryan Bloom out in front, Dan West Jr. Samuel, we talk about some of the new updates that were done, and we saw it used in fine fashion tonight for the Power I Dirt Race Round 4, the 9-wing sprints at Peevely at I-55, and that is, we have the control now, or whoever is the admin and race director, to cut the cautions quickly. And I think that's going to be something really exciting news for the Northwest. Obviously, for the pavement events, cup and truck, like for this, you're going to see them have to obviously make a lap for the caution, a lap to come back around, the lap for the pit stops, a lap for wave around. But it could possibly, like right now, you see the lights are off on the pace car. In years past, Samuel, we probably would have been under yellow flag for like 4 or 5 caution laps. And now it's only 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's an iRacing update that came in. iRacing trimmed it down to where there's not as many pace laps at these bigger super speedway match tracks. So it's no longer, it's still at the 1.5 miles in shorter tracks. It's still 5 laps that we're expecting. But these bigger 2 mile to 2.5 or bigger, more courses, it's now only that to 3 to 4 laps these drivers are pacing, giving you plenty of time to get in pit road, get your service done, and then get back out there on track.
Lights are off on the pace car as Samuel will reiterate it on, and we will get ready to go back for the restart. A lot of racing left to go. Still under 50 laps remaining. Still not even got to halfway yet. Halfway at lap 35. And we're glad you're joining us. Ryan Bloom out in front, Dan West Jr. second. How about this, Samuel? Up 17 spots. BJ Duvall, third. Jeff Stabnow, Kevin Smith, top 5.
Yeah, Kevin Smith up 27 positions. One of our biggest movers of the night. Ray Fortner up 28 positions is the biggest mover.
Field to the Geico restart zone to the stripe. Green flag back in the air. Lap 22 completed. Bloom, West, Stabnow, Duvall, and Smith, as we all just mentioned. McConnell, Vinet, Onenbacher, Moore, Harris, the bottom 5. That's your top 10. Battle for the lead, side by side, 25 and double nickel off 2.
Right now, that Dan West Jr. 55 machine, he's got Will Duvall that's going to be trying to help, but he needs to get a little bit closer. Right now, with the inside lane, they're a little bit more closer to one another, which is allowing the wind to really go over the trucks, allowing that lane that has more trucks in line to move faster than everyone else. Wesley, just as I said, that outside line wasn't really close. They've got more trucks, and now they're jam-packed, ready to go at 4.
Coming off of turn 4 through the tri-oval. Another lap in. Quick laps. You see him now going back to 1. West is the man. You have Duvall now. Look at Duvall, a little loose there for a second. Duvall is confident this year that he wants to run for a championship or at least a race win this season. McConnell outside, stab now. Inside, there you go. I'm sorry, Samuel. Go ahead, go to 3.
I mean, this is one way to start out for that 85 machine. I mean, he's doing a great job right now pushing. Will Duvall, do want to give note, I mean, he came in very late during the playoffs to start racing with this Northwest crew. So this 85's got a lot of experience in getting used to. He's got a little bit of a taste. But BJ really hoping that he can find a little bit more speed here tonight to get a win. He's 1 position away from leading. Certainly this 85, he's practiced all week. He's prepared for this. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in these last couple of laps if he's up in the top 5.
His intention is to run the Cup and Truck Series this year on the Northwest. He also competed in a couple of Northwest Pro Late Model Series events. And they work up into 3 now with Dan West Jr. Here goes a little wiggle from Duvall. McConnell outside. He's got help from Ottenbacher. Samuel Ottenbacher's won at Daytona before. He's right there with them as they work through the tri-oval. We're about to be about 45 laps to go.
And Ottenbacher, got to think, just 10 laps ago, just had one of the most amazing saves for himself. And majority of the field had stayed green. Now with the amount of cautions that have come out, the 89 is still in the mix with an opportunity to race up front. But speaking of up front, some of these drivers that are up in the top 15 have already used their fast repair. With the amount of carnage we've seen here, just the first 25 to 26 laps. First driver that's already used the fast repair is the 5 of Devin West. Then he goes back to 11, where we got that of Ray Fortner, and then also going to be seeing that of James Vining, as well as that Brett Brewer, going to be one of those drivers to watch out for the 87.
Working their way back off of 4 through the tri-oval. Razzle-dazzle, no one jumps out of the line yet. And why would they? Still a lot of laps remaining. We're not even at halfway. And Dan West Jr. leads the cavalry off of 2. He's got Duvall behind him, picking on the inside, picking on the outside. Can't make a move. They pass Ritters. Shout out to the Ritters family. I understand it's a packed house. Watching the race tonight on the big screen on iRacing on LSRTV. And a tough break for Clifford and the King of Beers number 23 truck of Toby Ritters. Working off of the corner, back off of 2. Or 4, excuse me.
Yeah, we saw the 23 get out of pit road. He is now back out on track. 7 laps down is the 23 Clifford machine, and we'll see if he can get back on the lead lap. If there's enough yellows, that's going to be the key for that of Toby Ritters to get back into this race. But right now, it's more of having a mental fortitude. Just stay out there on track and take as many positions as possible. If there's more wrecks that keep on piling up throughout the race.
Working back straight away. Ottenbacher now wants to go to the lead. Look at the 26 now. Ray Fournier showing his momentum on the outside in the top 5 there, Samuel. It's rumble time in his Ford.
And he is the biggest mover of the night. The 26 up 32 positions. He started all the way back in 40th. Biggest mover, and he's in the top 10.
And remember, Ray Fournier last year, biggest accomplishment, one of the duel of race winners for the trucks. Ottenbacher back to the lead in the 89 machine. West, that's a family affair of father and son. And now Father West goes to the lead. Daddy West leads, Ottenbacher second. Duvall now lets Son West go to 3rd. And while that goes on, they still battle on the inside as they go to 3.
Talk about some of the other drivers that have been making some big moves. I mean, third truck on the outside, the 11, Frank Harris. He's another driver that started outside of the top 30, 34th positions where he qualified, and now trying to stay and get into the top 5. The 11's doing a great job, and Wesley, this is what is so great about Daytona and Superspeedway racing, is it doesn't matter how far back you start. Almost every truck out here has an opportunity to win here tonight.
Audenbacher opens the door to the inside, and Dan West Jr. will say, I'm coming through it. Audenbacher will battle back, though, on the outside lane. And Devin West now, does he go with his dad or does he go with Audenbacher? I think he's got no choice but to go with Audenbacher up on the outside lane to 3, Samuel.
Yeah, it's B. You're following your teammate there. Also have your dad on the inside. Complete control right now of the field are these top 3 drivers. You also got that of BJ, of that of Will Duvall, going to be in that following the 55. I mean, these are 4 drivers that I would imagine are okay with working with one another, kind of an alliance crew of the front 4 drivers. Those are 2 leading the outside and the 2 leading the inside rows.
West, Duvall working off 2. Here comes now Audenbacher outside lane. Bloom and West, that's Sun West now flip-flopping with Ryan Bloom, the ARCA Northwest champion of 2021. 30 laps in. Let's give you your full field rundown real quickly as it stands as we approach halfway. We'll knock this out very quickly. Sammy D. Dan West Jr. leads. BJ Duvall second. John Audenbacher third. Ryan Bloom is 4th, and Devin West the top 5. McDonald, Harris, Stabnow, Fournier, Smith, Redier, the top 10. Redier, Kim, Raz, Iverson, Kim, and they flip-flop up those spots. Ortega, Yee, Weaver, Moore, Grande, Hunter, and Brightsman. Samuel, your top 20 coming up on halfway at Daytona.
Then you got Dylan Huff, Fines, Gamble, Cooper, Lowther, as well as that of Luttenberg, as well as that of Daggett, White. Else cracking into the 28th position is Paul Newton. James Vining, top 30. He's going to have that of Lake Peterson back there. Dana Rogers, as well as Caden Anderson, Casey Carver, Lake, that of Bryce Clark, as well as Tyler King. Roney, also going to have that of Carl Burke, Johnson, and also Toby Ritter is going to finish out your top 40 with that of Applegate. Dean Moore and Stephen O'Hare still at pit road is the 41.
And so far, there has been only 2 caution flags in the first half of this race as we do approach halfway in a couple of more laps. Dan West Jr. inside, lap truck down on the bottom. That's the 33 machine getting out of harm's way. No harm, no foul for Dean Moore. And while that goes on, they hit the super stretch, the back straightaway, Audenbacher. Samuel, how big would it be for John Audenbacher to get off the schneid and win? He hasn't won since last year when he won a truck race at Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, Daytona always, when you're thinking about getting those wins, and for this 89, I mean, what a feeling it would be to see the 14 going to be low, slow, out of the way, letting the rest of the field go on by. But I got to say, for John Audenbacher, this is going to be a relief for himself. It has been a struggle if you look back at last season for that 89 team, and we're just hoping to get on the right foot starting this season. I think even just getting in a top 10, top 5 would still feel like a win with how last season was going. For the most of that team, LSRTV, they're just hoping to be up front, have someone from their team win here tonight.
Got to find that teammate, that person that will help you get through that conga line of chaos, because you know a storm's brewing as we get down to the later stages of this race. 2 laps to halfway now. The leaders come to the line 1 lap to halfway when they come to the stripe, with West leading Audenbacher now. More lap trucks down to the inside. Bloom, Harris, Samuel, and I say again as we get ready to get the cross sticks, bud, I'm so impressed with drivers like Will Duvall, Ryan Bloom, Frank Harris, McConnell, Ray Fournier, Redier, Smith. Drivers that we've not heard before or we know that struggled in years past on the Northwest, shining brightly tonight at Daytona as they get ready to come to halfway.
Yeah, I mean, it has been incredible, and that's the one thing with Daytona is it allows these drivers to really shine and have a great start to their season. But now we're starting to see it. We're halfway. Drivers now can make it from here to the end of the race, and pit road now getting busy.
Yep, trucks are starting to pit. The rest of the pack will stay in a line in a 1 and 2, but there were some trucks that pitted in the back. And that includes Cole Raz, Daytona Cup winner unofficially, Justin Yee in, Caden Anderson, Casey Garber, Lake Peterson, Briar Reynolds, Dennis Moore, Bryce Clark. Those drivers came to pit lane. As that's going on, the leaders are on the back straightaway going to turn number 3 as you see Justin Yee exiting pit lane.
There's going to be a lot of these drivers who do not make mistakes. If you do, you might lose the draft. And Casey Garber was one of those drivers that did that. Lit through clock, lost time, and will not be with the group that just came out. But here comes another one of Cluster coming into pit road, and it's Will Duvall leading this group.
Dan West Jr., Will Duvall, did he speed coming on the pit lane? That question.
Oh, he did.
Oh,
caught speeding, was the 85, and you saw he was flying. I mean, yes, there's a good amount. I mean, pit speed coming in is 60 miles per hour. Well, you cannot come in that fast. Will Duvall now going to be having that of a 40-second hold. He's potentially could be going a lap down with how long he's going to be in pit road.
So here's the thing. You either take your medicine, stay 10 seconds after your pit stop, roughly 30 seconds on the pit lane if you make a full pit stop, or you drive away and then you get black flag, Samuel, and then you got to come back down the pit lane again for a stop and go. I'd prefer the top than the latter. Go ahead and stall your car, stall your truck in your pit stall, take the penalty, don't try to pull out of the pits early.
Well, that's the thing with Irons. You cannot leave. Once you're put in a hold penalty, you have to stay, and you're going to have to wait it out. And that's exactly why 85 is still in pit road, finally just leaving his pit stall. It's going to be a lap down.
Whoa! Hold on, slow truck in front of fast pack. This might not be good. And they negotiated through it perfectly. Boy, oh boy, that truck on the outside lane, what the heck are you doing? Get down to the bottom. Don't stay on the top shelf. Wow.
That's going to be that of Dean Moore. Moore has been off speed. He's been struggling and still struggling to get up to speed fully. And now going to be going another lap now. That's 13 and 33.
Another truck on the outside lane. You'd think you'd stay to the inside of the racetrack, but they're finding a way to get around them. And obviously to split the pack up with Audenbacher leading, John Audenbacher out in front. Dan West Jr. second, Iverson third. This is with the Tom Dinchell Auto Group entry of Devin West, the 5. Yes, it is. And by the way, Samuel, I know that it says that's the 9 of the Cartoon Network truck with Scooby-Doo on it, but that's actually the number 65 of Cameron Iverson.
I threw it out there. It's kind of when I dig into the booth. The drivers are going to have a week to figure out the amount of guys new mixed up on their teams and what they wanted. And Iverson as well as Ortega, both drivers got to be careful with the teams we got as both not really putting the numbers on they have on our ticker.
Back straightaway. We ain't done it in a while. It's an extended LSRTV. Feel the roar as they're in a pack of traffic at full speed at Daytona. trouble, caution out. Is that Ryan Bloom in the triangle grass? It is. He got into Chris White and a bunch of others. And Samuel, did you see the, oh my goodness, wow. Was that Dylan Huffines that made that barely move to get by on the outside lane? What an angle. Oh my goodness.
And I believe it was Ryan Bloom that might have been just stopped, and it was.
Oh yeah, it
25.
was. Yeah.
And you're going to see the just aftermath of drivers trying to woe up because the 25 is just sitting right in the middle of the field. And everyone else, some just try to drive on their way through. Others were able to. And just like that, blown engines for some drivers that have already used their faster pair. And this is a rank sender for a lot of these drivers.
I think the speed shot or this camera angle right here is going to tell the tale. You got McConnell on his backdoor tailgate, and McConnell gets into him. He's right in the pack of everybody. He got turned, flies through the air. Dan West Jr. McConnell crash. We missed that. Then we see the speed shot of Ryan Bloom in the middle of the triangle at the start-finish line, and then everybody starts bobbing and weaving and zigging and zagging to miss him like a ping pong ball.
And Wesley, I threw it out there. You have, if you're gonna give a bump, you've got to be lined up properly. And for the 40, seeing these drivers, they were not lined up, just hitting the wrong quarter panel and spinning right and Bloom around. And you even see here right on with Jeff Stabnow. I mean, he's getting a sense. Okay, we're getting a little bit antsy. Oh no, there's nowhere to go.
And Samuel, is he okay? No harm, no foul? Maybe some damage on the side to the right, maybe?
There's damage. He's going to have to come in and potentially use a faster pair, which there's some drivers already calling it a night. Stephen O'Hare, who already had earlier damage, he's going to be done. James Vining has already parked it and has jumped out of here. Those are two official drivers out, but yeah, we might see more drivers calling it a night.
Man, oh man. Just after halfway, extended LSRTV Fill the Roar. And they were roaring, and then all of a sudden, you saw what happened to Ryan Bloom, the 2021 Northwest ARCA champion. High hopes going into tonight's event. And look who's up in front, Samuel. Number 71, Aaron Cooper. Now the man. He had a top 3 finish in the Cup race on Monday night. And as we take a look at the Saw Blade top 5, getting ready to go to commercial break, he is the man that leads the way. For the LSRTV, Fill the Roar in Daytona as the field comes to green at the world's center of racing. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race.
This is our series,
So many different pieces that you have to watch out for.
where the stakes are always higher,
$300,000.
where virtual meets reality,
How bad do you want it?
They're wasting no time getting at it.
where the best thrive and the flawless win. This is the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
Back here at Daytona, 40 laps to go. We are just after halfway here, so it's 30 laps to go. Man, oh man. And Samuel, it's getting down to the home stretch of this race, obviously, and I can see that the intensity has picked up. I'm sure you can as well, and I know patience is going to go out the window here in the shortcomings of laps as well.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing. Patience is going out the window each and every lap that goes away. I mean, we're now going to be seeing these drivers coming up to that of 25 laps to go when we go green. And this is the point of the race when we find ourselves now, because we were under green flag pit stops at that moment. Some of the drivers actually were so slow they went a lap down. We only have 28 drivers left on the lead lap currently, and it's Dan West Jr. that is the first car one lap down.
Wow. Aaron Cooper, now the man out in front. Samuel, how about it for Aaron Cooper? He's 41 spots up. He started this race in 42nd position. He was literally in the back of the pack. And now, process of elimination, being in the right time, staying out of trouble, up there. But he's not the only one. Aaron Cooper up 41 spots in the lead. Bryce Clark up 36. Sean Brightsman up 20. Dan Lowther up 36. Brett Redier up 23. Just some of the names of drivers that have done really, really well as we settle in for this under 30 laps to go. Field comes back to the Geico restart zone. Aaron Cooper will send him to the line. Green flag, Justin Yee on the outside. Ortega, Audenbacher, Brightsman all there. Green back out there in turn one. Sammy D in the corner.
That's a scary restart. Aaron Cooper taking off like this is a mile-and-a-half track that is giving so much space and momentum. Look at the drivers going to be in that third place. Bryce Clark, the run from the inside is going to be massive coming out of turn number 4. With Justin Yee trying to get a little bit of bump and tandem drafting with Aaron Cooper to try to keep the momentum high so they don't just get ran over coming to the front stretch.
Back stretch into 3, Cooper. Staying on the bottom. Yee will follow. Audenbacher, and look at this pack now with Clark, Brightsman, Ortega. Getting loose, getting antsy, getting sideways. One car pulling on below the gap. He'll hold it on. They'll come to the line. They'll stay out in front with Cooper leading them going to turn number 1.
Feeling steady for now, but for how long? Sean Brightsman been just lingering in 15th position all race long, and finally after the big one strikes after green flag pit stops, the 46 finding himself up front, sees a teammate, that of the 89 of John Audenbacher, and why not work with one another, make that outside line work. And here's also Dan Lowther, a driver that was involved with Rex during the duels, now an opportunity to be up front in the top 5.
He'll go with him as they work off into the corner, back out of turn number 4. Look at now Ortega moving inside, moving outside. That is the pace truck colors, but it is the race truck of number 68 of Ortega. Through the tri-oval now, put him back to 5th. Look at Dan Lowther, Samuel. What a run for Dan Lowther coming up through the field as well.
Absolutely incredible to be watching Lowther and the way that he's climbed his way through. Again, one of those drivers that came through provisional. Dan Lowther started 42nd position, now up to 6th. Going to be up 36 spots, the biggest mover of everyone currently, and leading that outside row.
Yee now has Ortega behind him. Lowther up on the outside with help from Hunter. Iverson is in that mix along with Clark as they work through the tri-oval back to the line. Look at now this 5-truck breakaway. Single file with Audenbacher now jumping out in front. Lap truck to the inside, Toby Ritters. Now that's what you got to do, Samuel. These guys that were up on the outside lane, up on the high banks, what the heck are you thinking? Stay to the bottom of the racetrack. There's a race going on and you're not in it. Do what Toby Ritters did. Stay out of harm's way. Let the race groove be where they're flying by. And that's exactly what you saw Ritters do as the pack goes to 3. And you see Annenbacher still having this strong run. And look at Sean Brightsman now. Brights Boutique entry. Number 46, Samuel. 2-time Cup Series champion. Now up to 2nd.
And then also on the outside, you see the 22. That's going to be Ron Hunter coming with some speed, looking for some sponsors for the 22, potentially, if anyone wants to go help that out. But I do want to give note on the fact that you were talking about lap cars. It's coming to the outside. Sean Brightsman wants to be leading that outer groove. They want to make sure that Sonnenbacher, Brightsman leading the lanes and where they're at. But those lap cars, you can have certain decisions that you can make. You can go onto the apron if you're completely out of this run. You do not have the speed and the minimum speed to at least, even with draft, to stay with the lead pack. If you do have the minimum speed, utilize the draft, you stay on track. Your goal is to stay with the lead pack that's passing you. That's why we see drivers stay low, stay high. Find ways to slow down that pack so they can stay attached and potentially get a lap back if a yellow comes out.
Remember last year, Dan West Jr. won this race. It was Dan West Jr. who won the opening race, obviously being the defending champion of the Truck Series. He is up in front right now. Dan West Jr. falling all the way to the back, as we mentioned, Samuel.
Yeah, he's the first driver 1 lap down is Dan West Jr. Next one would be Will Duvall, who's just a couple of trucks behind where the 55 is. And also want to give note, more drivers have parked it here tonight with 20 to go. Zevin West, Casey Garber, they're joining James Viney and Stephen O'Hare back to the garage.
John Annenbacher won this race at Daytona 2 years ago. But he's won here before. He sits up in front with under 20 laps remaining. Now, Samuel, it's time to hit that loud pedal. It's time to get aggressive. It's time to lay your cards on the table and show what you got to your other Northwest competitors. It's under 20 laps to go at Daytona.
As we're right on board with the 6-6 to Justin Yee. I mean, Wesley, you think of Yee last season for the Cup side of things. He just came up, always had pace, was always was up front. But he came second fiddle to his teammate of Blake Peterson so many times. This is the way to start your season. Be up front and potentially get a win here tonight to start the season off.
And we mentioned a guy like Aaron Cooper. He has never, ever won on the Northwest Racing Series. He had a top 3 finish in the Cup race at Daytona. And now truck number 71. I always say googly eyes is the big eyes man, doing well. And he's got it going on tonight. Staying to the inside, that's 71. Sean Brightsman, though, one of the veterans, one of the best on the outside of him. 4 lap trucks in the way. And look at this now, pack of traffic snarling, growling at speed up the high banks to 3.
The big thing for Aaron Cooper that I'm slightly concerned about is fuel. Has the 71 stayed enough? Everyone else in the pit road, right around the time that they knew they were good. There were plenty of time for people to be set up in good. He won, did slightly sooner than everyone else. Fuel could be the issue. If the space increasing for Aaron Cooper, he's hoping that maybe he gets a little bit less with help. Right now, leading on the inside row.
Inside that Chevrolet, staying on the bottom, Aaron Cooper. Outside Brightsman. Lap truck, they're coming up on him in a hurry. Look at this, Samuel. That is the number 40 of Bruce Lee Weaver.
That is 20 miles per hour difference between when the leaders got up to the 40 to passing him, and he just went falling back. Truck after truck after truck. And now Weaver is going to find himself second, truck a lap down again. It's still the 55 of Dan West Jr. But this is dangerous with lap traffic. 44 forcing it 3 wide and almost the big one in the middle of the field.
We had the biggest wreck in iRacing history, I think, on Monday night in the Cup Series right here. Right now, these guys trying to hold it together as Aaron Cooper, the man out in front. We got trucks wrecking. They're in the grass. Caution's out. You just saw a little glimpse of them. Is that Toby Ritters? Is that Chris White? I think it is. Pace car scampers to the grid. And Jeff Stabnow caught up in it as well. Oh, my goodness.
I talked about lap traffic being an issue to watch out for, and it's 40 who just went a lap down. He's going to be the driver to watch out for. It's going to be 3 wide action here. It's the 40 thinking he's got space, runs into that of Duvall, and then comes back down and finishes off the job. And Jeff Stabnow's in the mix.
Stabnow, Kevin Smith, Lundberg, Gamble. In the grass, lucky was Anderson. Scott Hutchinson, and man. Oh, second season, same as the last season for Jeff Stabnow. He might have took advantage of the fast repair, though. Aaron Cooper, still the man out in front. 15 to go. Of course, Jeff Stabnow, his teammate Sean Breitzman there, his teammate John Ottenbacher in second and third. Samuel, you gotta wonder, did Jeff Stabnow take that? He held off after that little contact on the tri-oval, and now he's going to use that fast repair. And we know people are pitting. Ottenbacher weasels out, and Aaron Cooper comes to the pit lane in 71.
Yeah, Aaron Cooper had to come into pit road. He was not going to be able to make it and was forced in. And Wesley, just want to give you a correction on the fact that Jeff Stabnow, that contact that was in the tri-oval, it was a lot bigger. It was hitting the side of the car, damaged the engine and the wheel. He had to use the fast repair to stay out on track. In this incident,
just got tore
could
up
be
again.
calling it at night.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Man, that's a tough break. There's Sean Breitzman, Breitz Boutique Toyota. Cup champion 2020. Originally from Puyallup, Washington. The home of one of the sprint car greats of 410 non-wing and 360 wing sprint cars, Trey Starks. He made the trip now moving to... He made the trip to Arizona. He lives in Tucson, Arizona. One of the big backbones of helping what is the Northwest Racing Series program run. John Ottenbacher, winner 2 years ago at Daytona. In that Team LSRTV entry for the LSRTV 200. His teammate, Sean Breitzman, in front of him. Sitting in third, that red-yellow truck with the blue numbers, Ron Hunter, the number 33. Comfortable, good run for that Chevrolet, along with Justin Yee. Dan Lowther with a solid run in the top 5, as well as Angel Ortega, a good run for him, maybe the best of his career so far in the Northwest Series. Dennis Moore has been strong. Cameron Iverson has been quiet all night. Frank Harris and Bryce Clark up big spots from 31 to 25 positions as well. The lights are off on the pace car. It's time to settle in. And Katie, bar the door, ladies and gentlemen, for the shootout here for the Northwest. Round number 1 for the trucks. Northwest Cup and Truck Series, remember, they're in action every Monday and Thursday night. 11:25 Eastern time. I believe they started these races early because of obviously the duels and qualifying and tonight, Daytona, Season 9 underway. We'll get ready for the restart here. Samuel, place your bets. Sean Brightsman, John Annenbacher haven't won in a while, and also their teammates.
Yeah, that's the big thing is their teammates. They can count down, get this restart right, and either get each other in line or defend whatever lane they're in.
It's going to be 12 laps to go when they come back to the Geico restart zone. Brightsman Toyota, Annenbacher Chevrolet. Green flag back in the air. A dozen laps remain at the Virtual World Center of Racing. And it's time to settle in. Who's going to be the first winner of 2022 in the lid lifter of the Northwest Racing Series of Season 9 for the trucks? Off to turn 1. Turn 2. Brightsman outside. Here they come off 2.
Wesley, I'm liking this. I'm loving the fact that Sean Brightsman and Annenbacher both are defending right now. A little bit of a wiggle on the outside, and it's going to be that Justin Yee. And I think he might have spooked that of Annenbacher. Just drops down as the 89, and now it's the 66 leading the outside row.
And did you see Dennis Moore's do some bonsai moves? He went from the inside to the outside, back to the middle, back to the bottom, and now back to the outside lane. The Beaver State Racing number 44. Dennis Moore now up into the top 10 to the line. 11 to go. He's now in 9th as they go back to turn 1. The battle for the lead. Annenbacher and Yee going to turn 1. Brightsman is his wingman for Annenbacher inside in the corner.
And Wesley, we didn't capture on camera, but we stayed green. There was a massive wreck behind the field back from 20th on back, and they have now lost touch to this lead group. And with no yellow, 11 laps to go, there's a lot of frustrated drivers that thought there was going to be yellow thrown. iRacing didn't throw it. We stay green.
Yeah, it sounds like it's Dan West Jr., Robert Campbell, Paul Newton, just some of these guys. Huffines, Daggett, Wright, Reddier, Anderson, all in this pack that just got caught up in an accident there. And they still keep on going. This pack of traffic, however, at least with the top 15 trucks? They're right there with one another. And Annenbacher leads them with 10 laps to go up the high banks to turn 1, Samuel.
This is the top 17 are all in this lead pack. All are still running at full song and have a chance to win here tonight. The highest qualifier of them all to this group, Hayden Anderson, he's back in that 16th as we ride on board. Take this back foot, being to see the back bumper. The drivers that are in this group. There's a lot of underdogs that you never even thought had a chance to win potentially if you looked it on paper. But it's Daytona Super Speedway Racing. You never know who can come around and be the shining star. Coming to 9 laps to go.
Hunter inside. He's got now Ortega to deal with. Pulling away. Annenbacher, 2 years since he won at this race on this night. Sean Brightsman, along with Justin Yee, door to door. They work off 2. More lap traffic in the way. They stay to the inside. Have at it, boys. 9 to go. The leaders are going to 3.
The question is, when do you make that last move? For some, they say if you're in the back half of this pack, it's when it's 5 to go. For those that are up in the top 5, it's 3-2, maybe even you wait until the white flag to finally make a move for yourselves. But you can already see a couple of these trucks, they're being battered and bruised, and they're just hoping to survive to make it to the end. Some of these drivers have to field in this lead pack, Wesley, have already used their fast repair. One big one up front could take out half this lead pack and see their race being done.
One wrong slip from somebody. A mental error. Just like in real life, if they make that slip here in the trucks, it can be calamity for them and hurt their season start for here tonight at Daytona. There you see a man that was up in front, what might have been Jeff Stabnow. He was up in the front, got caught in an accident with Ryan Bloom in the tri-oval. And now he's on the outside looking in, just salvaging as many points as possible. Here comes the cavalry. Through the tribal, Samuel, 7 laps to go. Annenbacher looking, staying out in front, inside the pack as they go to turn 1.
Look at that 10. He's the 5th truck on the inside, and Wesley, he's already proven this week, unofficially won on Monday, still under review. but he could go for the sweep this week if somehow Cole Raz can find himself to get up to that high line and actually start moving forward.
Wright's-been a little shift there for a moment, trying to get around Odenbacher. He now hooks up with behind the back of the tailgate of his machine. Yee now goes to the outside lane. He'll get a bump and a help there from Ortega. Also, Hunter in the mix. Iverson's coming. Lowther's coming. 2x2x2. The top 10 are. Top 5 at full song to the line. 7. Now make it 6 laps to go. No one jumps out of line yet. Who's your friend? Who's your enemy? Who's your new relationship on the track? It's still Odenbacher leading to 1.
17 drivers in this lead pack, and it's Aaron Cooper, the leader, before that last yellow had to come into pit road. And now, tail end, waiting to see if he might have a chance to move forward. But it's John Odenbacher, Justin Yee. Yee's feeling good, and oh no! Contact's going to be made!
Lowther spinning, trucks spinning. There's the caution, Roy Grande. This was in the back of the pack. They're on the bottom of the apron. Samuel, I don't know why iRacing threw a caution, but they did, and this is obviously going to set us up for an overtime shootout, possibly. My goodness.
I'm trying to find out if there was any other spins after the fact, because it was Roy Grande, Dan Lowther that were the initial drivers that made the contact, and there's sometimes moments where there's certain wrecks that will just throw out a yellow, and we don't have any understanding on why it happens. And you saw there, just off the nose of the 10 of Cole Raz. And the wreck begins.
Could it just be because when he spun and he went up the grass near the bus stop, if you will, of the Daytona road course, that might have been the chicane that they threw the yellow? Do you think that might have been the reason why they triggered the caution, or is it just...
It's just
unfortunate there.
I mean, there were times where it should have been thrown, and it's all up to whatever iRacing means it's going to be thrown. Again, this is not admin thrown yellows. It is only based on what iRacing teams as what could bring out a caution. Sometimes they'll even let cars wreck out because there's no field coming into contact. No yellow will be thrown, and that could have been the reason why is there were drivers down below spinning out of control, and there were more drivers coming in behind. Could have been the reason why it got triggered. There's a million different reasons on why the yellow got triggered, but this is putting us very close, Wesley, to overtime.
Five, make it 4 laps to go. I'm certain they're going to try their best to get this race back restarted, but obviously you've got to wait for scoring to update. You've got to wait for the opportunity to open pit road if anybody's going to pit. Quickie yellow, if you will. You have to then get the 1 to go, get them back assembled. If somebody's going to take the wave around. A lot of logistics here, Samuel. It's not possible yet, but there is a chance we might be looking at overtime number 1 coming up.
Yeah, I mean, with how spread out the field was, that is another factor that could push us into overtime. Again, we're waiting to see. Again, we're seeing right now waiver rounds being given. Lucky dog to that of Will Duvall, who's trying to get himself back up front. And then other drivers potentially could go into pit road if they don't have to. But this is allowing some of the drivers that were caught up in that previous incident to get back into an opportunity. Again, that lead group was only 17 drivers before that of Grande and Dan Lowther made contact. Now all the drivers got split up from that wreck that was not a yellow. They're getting back into this thing, but it matters on how damaged those trucks are moving forward.
So we saw some of the trucks taking the wave around. Not sure if they're going to trigger the 1 to go this time by. If they do, it would be a 3 to go. They cycle back around. It would be a 2 to go, which would still be Samuel Dyer within the same race distance of the scheduled 70 laps. And then if they had another caution, then they go to overtime again. It all depends on this lap right here, if the lights go off on the pace car. And they do. Okay, so 3 to go, Samuel. So 3 to go. They're going to come back around, and they're going to still be in the regular scheduled distance, but it will be green-white checker. That there is still an opportunity for an extended two attempts at a restart, finish, green, white, checker if need be.
Yeah, regulation, green, white, checkered. And this seems like it always comes down to this, Wesley. I mean, we got to see a little taste of it during the duels of drivers having to be put into overtime and set. This isn't overtime. It's inside of regulation, green, white, checkered. But Wesley, it still kind of counts rules-wise. We still need to get to the white flag. We want to race it to the end.
It's very simple. If you take the white flag, you're racing back to the checker. If they take the green and the caution comes back out, obviously we go into overtime, 2 attempts. Now again, attempt 1, caution comes out before the white, we'll reset, we'll go again. In attempt number 2, if the caution comes out before the white, the field is frozen, race is over. If they take the white flag, the CRN 1 to go, then Samuel, wreckers or checkers are going to come back around and decide who's going to win this thing in Daytona.
I mean, you look at it, 15 drivers have a raceable trucks that can win this thing, but you never know. Someone further back still has a chance.
It all comes down to this. The field works their way through the tri-oval. The lights are off on the pace car. Pace car drops onto the pit lane. Still in the scheduled distance. Overtime is a possibility. Green flag back out at Daytona. 2 to go. Justin Yee pulls away. Ortega in the battle along with Ottenbacher. Brightsman with the bump to Ottenbacher outside lane. They go to 1.
Oh, it's close. That was a hard contact from Tom Brightsman to Ottenbacher. Got the 89 a little bit too squirrely, but this is their best opportunity. Out of the corner, Sean Brightsman has to get on the back bumper of Ottenbacher and get both those trucks ahead so they can drop down and be in front of that of Justin Yee.
Those trucks got to take a lap or so to get up to speed. They're there now. They'll settle off into the 3rd turn. Ottenbacher outside. Brightsman inside as long with Yee. He's got help. Here comes Troy Daggett also in the mix. The Binford Tools 51. Cole Raz, Daytona Cup winner unofficially. This is it. To the line, scheduled distance, white flag, 1 more lap to go. CRN 1 to go. It's wreckers or checkers, and they're 2 and 3 wide with now Yee and Ottenbacher going at it final time, turn 1.
Gloves are off. It doesn't matter. If they wreck, you race it to the end, and they're wrecking in the back. Or further back and up front. Ottenbacher, Yee, they're racing it, Wesley. It doesn't matter. It's all about crossing the line first. You can wreck and no yellows coming out.
And they're bumping, then they're banging, then they're getting sideways again. Ottenbacher now pulls away. It's been 2 years since he's won. He's got help from his teammate, Sean Brightsman, pushing him into 3. He pushed him and got him loose. He holds on. They're wrecking behind them. Up on the wall is Dennis Moore. And now Yee goes upside down, crashes into Brightsman. Ortega crashes, and that opens the door like the parting of the Red Seas. Sean Ottenbacher, 2 years later, wins again at Daytona.
It was like a bomb blew up behind the 89. His mirror just saw trucks flipping and exploding behind him. It was the only survivor. They're still crawling to get across the line, Wesley. I have never... yes, Monday had a massive wreck, but this might be the most trucks I've ever seen just flipping at once.
Samuel, I'm going to say this honestly. Sean Brightsman helped John Ottenbacher win this race. Bottom line.
Oh, absolutely.
Brightsman was Ottenbacher's friend. He was his wingman. He hung with him. He gave him that push. That was the final push, if you will. And I know we saw Ottenbacher get loose because he couldn't decide whether he wanted to go to the top or the bottom. But when that final shove came from the 46, hey, man, you're on your own. But that final push then caused Brightsman to start playing blocker to everybody behind him.
I mean, if they were playing nice, right? They gave everyone the equal space for 3 lanes to just drive. Cole Raz was winning this thing. He had the run going into turn 3, coming out of the corner, but got bumped into the outside wall, lost all the momentum. And then it was John Ottenbacher's race at that point because he was clear enough. Whoever got spun, clipped, or spun around, the 89 was clear to race on, as we saw, and he survives the mayhem out of turn 4 to win here tonight.
The excitement is on, and you know what's coming up? Our first Northwest Racing Series High 5 salute. We didn't see it at Daytona because there was a little bit of shenanigans that changed all that. Henceforth, why there's an unofficial finish. But now, everybody's crossed the scoring loop. The celebration is on. There goes, obviously, Lake Peterson giving Ottenbacher a slap there. A celebration in the grass. All right, guys, get out of the grass. Come on. You can't hit nobody in the grass. Lundberg upside down.
We usually have like anywhere from 15, 20 trucks still alive at this point to just come in and collect. This is the only one we got. That is the only truck that's drivable. Everyone else is gone. They could not drive away from that explosion out of turn 4.
And Samuel, I know we're getting ready to show the results here, and look at this. John Ottenbacher, winner. A boost of momentum and confidence to start the new season. You're leading the point standings out of the gate. You're also first win of the year. You know, if you contend and run the rest of the Truck Series schedules, you're going to the playoffs regardless. I want to show, yeah, there you go. Thank you, Charles. Look at this, Samuel. Cameron Iverson, second. Bryce Clark hung in the back all night long. He finishes in third. Cole Raz, Robert Gamble, Tyler King, Dylan Huffines, Angel Ortega, BJ Duval. Remember the pit penalty on speeding? He still comes back and finishes in the top 10. Ron Hunter. Drivers that are newbies on the series, Samuel, what a great way for them to get some spotlight tonight.
Yeah, with Dana Rogers, Frank Harris, Aaron Cooper, Dan Lowther. Caden Anderson was able to come away with a top 15 finish. And then you also see that Brett in the 87. That Paul Newton, Justin Yee, who is up front trying to go for a win, could not even finish tonight. Comes away with 18th. Sean Breisman and Troy Daggett finish out your top 20.
21st, Dennis Moore. All these trucks a lap down, beaten, battered, banged out of the race. Dan West Jr., Roy Grande, Kevin Smith, Stabnow, top 25. All contenders at one time at the front of the race. Then it's Johnson, Lundberg, Peterson, Ronning, and White, the Cup Series champion of last year, the top 30.
Then we're going to see Brian Reynolds, that of Carl Burke, Applegate, McDonald, Moore, that of Dean Moore, with Weaverly, Foreigner, Devin West, Toby Ritter able to come away with 39th finish. No, that wasn't what he wanted, but there's tons of races to come back from that. Same goes to Casey Garber, finishing out our top 40, and the rest of the field going to be James Vining, Ryan Bloom, Stephen O'Hare, and that is Scott Hutchinson, your 44 drivers here tonight. And Wesley, I'm looking at incident points. That's when you drive off the track, when you get beaten and banged. There was no truck that ran here tonight that came away cleanly. Every single truck had some type of ding, bang here tonight, and it was the 89 that got done here at the end.
That was crazy. By the way, we do want to mention also the other entries of Alex Duda, Scott Hutchinson, Eric Cox, of the other entries that tried to attempt to make the race here at Daytona. We come back, finish line, post-race wrap-up. We talk to the top 3. John Ottenbacher, I know he's going to be ecstatic to grab a word with him. Cameron Iverson, Bryce Clark on the podium. First time at Daytona. Samuel and I will wrap it up from the virtual World Center of Racing on the Community Radio Network. And for those that are watching, iRacing on LSRTV. Welcome back to Daytona. Northwest Cup Series on Monday night, the Truck Series tonight. And when it's all said and done, John Ottenbacher, it's been almost 2 years. In fact, it has been 2 years. Last win for him in the Trucks was right here at Daytona. He does it again tonight. We'll grab a word with him and talk about that wild race in just a moment. Welcome to the finish line post-race wrap-up, and we will grab a word with our top three. First, it is going to be the driver of the truck, number 93, Bryce Clark. Bryce, man, this has got to be like a win for you. What a job.
Oh, definitely like a win. I was telling my teammates before this, just a top 10 would be a win, and I'd be doing donuts, and then I had to will it through that, and, I burned her down.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce, we got to see a lot of different strategies here tonight with some drivers deciding to come into pit road and those not. It seemed like track position, when you got up front, you stayed up front. What was your mentality in the early going, and when was that change to make sure that you were leading and at least in the top 10 all race long?
Towards the beginning of the race, I just was hanging out in the back and just trying to survive. And then after that second caution, I was in the second group, and all my teammates are like, hey, we're going to pit lap 35. And I'm like, I'm not in the same group. They're like, hey, we're behind you. And I'm like, I guess we're pitting 35. So that's what happened. And then I don't know what happened on the third caution. It just, everybody pitted. I didn't pit. And to the front I went, and that's where I stayed.
Bryce, I use the analogy, the parting of the Red Seas for Ottenbacher. It's got to have been the same way for you, bud, to finish on the podium. What was your take in the cockpit of the big wreck coming down the tribal out of 4?
I just wasn't going to lift, and I saw him up high wrecking, so I went to the bottom and just prayed that I'd make it through. I don't know who I hit, and I downshifted in a second, blew it up coming across the line, but just never lifted. And all my buddies were like, dude, you willed that thing.
Got to be a positive way to start the season, man. Thank your sponsors, third place tonight. Good job.
Yeah, I want to thank Caden Anderson for sure for giving me the setup, and then thank Garber's Garage, Fatback Motorsports, Paul Ross Designs for designing all of my stickers and everything, and that's it.
Bryce Clark will finish in the number 3 position here tonight at Daytona. Runner-up in the event is Cameron Iverson. Cameron driving the Scooby-Doo truck number 65. It was the number 9 on the racetrack, and he's runner-up. Cameron, what a job. You're taking this race here. It was methodically staying in the back, waited for the right time. You're on the podium in second spot.
Well, first of all, I am surprised they even made the race. I ended up having to stay half an hour late at work and got back with about 40 seconds to spare before girding up for the Heat 1. So
oh, wow.
It's kind of a blessing that I made it in time. Yeah, it was definitely an interesting race. I got to thank Angel Ortega for helping me out the whole race. We worked together most of the time. Him and EPI together with the setup. We had a pretty good car, it felt like. I always feel like I'm pretty good at the super speedways. I'm usually a better pusher, but there's a few times that I should have wrecked, but somehow I stayed out of it all.
I mean, Cameron, we got to see a lot of hard racing here tonight, but that last attempt on that last restart, what was your mentality on trying to get in front of everyone else and also being involved in trying to survive through all that madness coming out of turn 4?
Honestly, I just wanted to push Ortega to the win. I'm really kind of one to kind of stay content at super speedways and not try to wreck, but coming out of 4, it just flip of a switch. Cars were going everywhere. I did my best to try to keep it out of it. I got net coated in the wall a little bit, but somehow limped it across the line P2.
Man, this is a wild race for sure. Obviously, how do you feel? Are you fatigued? Are you tired having to go through the qualifying and the duels and this 200-mile race in the same night?
Honestly, I'm ready to go eat some ice cream and maybe go get a McChicken, but I don't know. I'm stoked. I feel like I can be awake for hours now.
All right, man. Well, there you go. Runner-up race here at Daytona, and got to be a confidence boost to start the season as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely a big confidence boost. I'm planning on running all the races this season, seeing if I can give it a shot, get in the playoffs, and see what I can work out.
All right, Cameron, thank your sponsors.
I would like to thank Wingnut Motorsports, EPI Setups for the amazing setups, Angel Ortega for being a really good team at this race and help me out, and then EMRD Designs. We're going to have a really cool paint job coming next race, so you better watch out.
Going to be a party for Bryce Clark's house tonight, and Bryce Clark runner-up here tonight at the virtual Daytona International Speedway in round 1 of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series here. We're at a victory lane. John Ottenbacher, he's not won since Daytona of 20 20. That's the last time he won. John Ottenbacher, this wild race, you're on top of the mountain, and it's got to be a momentum boost for you, especially the wild roller coaster of the last year or two to get you on the quest for a championship.
Yeah, it is. Quite a roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, John, you were up front for majority of this race, seeing teammates around you. When it got to that last restart, though, and you knew it was just you and Sean to try to take it to the end, how was that feeling of going into that restart? And as well, what was going through your mind when you saw through your mirror just the explosion of trucks behind you?
It was calming. It was pretty nice to have Sean back there pushing, because I know what he does and know how he works, and he always does a good job, and can't thank the guy enough. And just wanted to get him a good finish too, if we could have stayed up there together. And I knew he was going to try and make that pass right there at the end if he was still there. And I looked back and everyone was wrecking, so I just put it on cruise control.
At what point in the race, John, were you and Sean communicating, driver chat? Hey, man, you stay with me. I'm going to stay with you. One thing I noticed throughout this entire race, from when you got up to the front, when Brightsman got up there as well, you never leave your wingman. You hear that in the movie Top Gun. You do that here tonight, here at Daytona. You never leave your wingman. You stayed right there with him. He stayed right there with you. And I noticed on that final turn, that surge in the 3, he gave you that push, and that's all she wrote, and you're kind of on your own there.
Yeah, it works really well to have some teammates up with you, and you can work together and move around together a little bit and protect that front end. And yeah, it works out real well.
Did you think you were in trouble when he gave you that final bumper in the 3, or was that the momentum you needed to pull away for the race win?
You know, I didn't even notice that final bump until I looked at the replay and saw what happened there. But I was already turning to the left because I saw I was ahead. And so I was just going to move over so Sean could get up with me, and we could finish 1-2 there.
Well, listen, Samuel, this is the race winner at Daytona, buddy. If you want to ask another question, man, go ahead.
I don't have a question for you, John, but congratulations on this win. I mean, what a wild one to get, and I would imagine this one is going to stick with you for a while.
Yeah, it's awesome. Feels good. That LSRTV Chevy really worked well tonight. Got to thank all my team members, and got to thank Sean and BJ and Dan and Devin and Jeff. You know, they all work hard really to put all this on, put everything together. They do a great job. Can't ask for a better group of guys.
The big time for the driver of John Ottenbacher, now a two-time winner here as he wins for Team LSRTV in the Live Sim Racing TV 200 at Daytona as we kick off the season of 2022 and season 9 for the trucks. Next week, it's on to Atlanta, then Richmond, Dover, Las Vegas, Bristol, the next 5. Samuel Dyer, always fun working with you. It's been a while since we've worked together. The major series, I believe it was, in the Daytona 500 event. Now we've got the major series this Sunday night again. But your take of tonight's truck race, obviously a special win for John Ottenbacher.
Oh, it's a special one for John and Wesley. It's nice to be back in the booth. A whole season for us we're preparing for. We know that we are going to be at least hanging out with one another every week, and it's going to be a blast to see these drivers. And tonight, I mean, from top to bottom, it was an amazing race to watch. You had qualifying, that was great. The duels were incredible. I mean, we had one of the closest finishes for duel number 2, and then the explosion at the end just showing this season, you never know what's going to happen. And congratulations again to John Ottenbacher and the 89 getting the win here tonight. What a way to start the season.
I'm sure that Rocket Media and Live Sim Racing is going to put together a clip of the finish of the truck race, just like they put a clip together of that insane 30-plus car crash that Justin Prince and I called on Monday night as well, right here at Daytona. It's on to Atlanta. and the run for the Northwest Cup and Truck Series Championships are underway. Follow them at Northwest Racing Series on Facebook, at LSRTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as at CRN Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and LiveSimRacingTV.com and WeAreCRN.com. For Charles Wooten, Jeff Stabnow, everybody at Rocket Media, for Sam